Alright, everybody, welcome back to Odyssey of the Dragonlords. In the last session, the party of the Dawnbringers, comprised of Bouxfhades, Drakgar, Porunga, Exandri, Derek, and plus their allies, the Dengar, what's it called, Rutger, and Heliope. They continued their assault on the tribe of the Firewalkers, the lesser folk of Fire Island who were under the command of Jankor, a servant of Siren who has surrendered to the whims of the Lord of Storm. In return for his service, he was awarded a powerful magical item known as the Staff of Thunder and Lightning, a symbol of his subjugation at the hands of the Lord of Storms. Uh, However, even this power granted by Saturn was not enough to stop the Dawnbringers, as they were swift with their righteous fury against Jankor and his lackeys, incapacitating them or otherwise taking them out of combat. They managed to bring an end to Jankor's rule of tyranny, and now all that is left is to return to Queen Vita with the news of their victory. Along the way, the party met a Jankan, a cyclops with 10 fingers on each hand, known as Steros, who claimed that his father, who, just like him, is also, or was also, an artificer under the employment of the Lord of Storms, has been captured by a group of Amazon warriors in their latest skirmish with the lesser folk of the Fire Island. He agreed to ally himself with the party, under the condition that they would eventually get around to helping his father. Because, as much of not that high of an opinion that Steros may have of his father, and that is the only family he has left, as far as the party is aware, that is. Not only that, but also Derek managed to make his way and find a dragon egg, not before encountering a cyclops known as Polyphorus that the party had to, well, at least one of the party members had to give a warrior's death, to put him to rest finally. But yes, Derek grabbed a brass dragon egg from the depths of Fire Island, and now, after one final farewell to Calcia, the goddess in the volcano, or Titan rather, in the volcano, the party is now making their way back to Queen Vita to regale her with the news of their victory. And that is where we continue. Give me just one moment. So you guys have been, would be making your way. Give me 1 second. Would be making your way to the pathway that led you guys away from the volcano. Whether that be the front one or trying to gather around the side and use the the hidden pathway. Well, that'll be up to you guys. I will say, however, your journey back down the volcano is mostly uneventful. In fact, if any lesser folk member of the Firewalkers was still around the area, they would instantly back away and put down their weapons the moment they realize that Jankor is indeed defeated and you actually have him as your prisoner right now. What's it called? It is a bit of a trek where you kind of have to have your eyes and ears open just in case there is that one idiot who might dare to stand against you guys, despite all the evidence pointing to that not being a good idea. After around half an hour or so, during which the levitate spell on the dragon egg would disappear, leaving Derek to kind of struggle to grab it and hold it in his arms as he carries it down the pathway. You would be welcomed by the tribe of Queen Vita, and upon realizing that you carry with you the traitorous Jankor, word immediately spreads as you hear lesserfolk after lesserfolk in Draconic speak, yell to their nearest friend or ally. The traitor has been defeated. Peace will return. We may now praise the nameless god of the volcano once again. Soon enough, you are brought once again in front of Queen Vita, as she sees you guys arrive. She says, "Well, I must say, you you broke all expectations I had of this event. I never once doubted your bravery or your efficiency. But you must understand that it is not often that an outsider, much less a group of outsiders, venture far into our domain, and even more so, prove themselves worthy of our alliance. Although I have been shared a couple of words by some of the members of my tribe who were released from their captivity, but we shall leave those matters to rest for another time." Do you guys say anything?
That last part kind of piques my interest. And I asked Queen Vite if I may have a her.
If you may have a word with her? Hold on, I think my audio is kind of cutting out. Is Cass cutting out for everybody else?
Yeah,
She said she want to have a word with her.
Okay.
What do you mean? I heard her perfectly fine.
Vaita will look at you, Exandri, and say, "Words spoken in confidence and secrecy, that we can arrange. But if you believe the words you must speak can be heard by both your allies and my people, do so out loud."
Okay. First, I have a favor to have asked you. Queen Vita, we did deliver Yankport to you, but his people, once Yankor was apprehended, they all yielded. They were only following his order because he was their tribal leader. If you please will give the tribal lizards, they're lizards, right? I don't know why I totally forgot that.
Lizard folk.
Yeah, lizard folk. The tribal lizard folk leniency and allow them to work off and join allied tribes so that they may continue their life and help make this island a better place. I please ask of.
You wish me to show mercy to those who followed in Jankor's footsteps. An interesting proposal. But if the objective of this proposal is to maintain peace and stability with the other tribes, surely you're not suggesting that I allow them to walk freely without atoning for their transgressions.
No, that's why I said work off their ignorance of their leader. Make them work. Make them work to regain access to society where they may gain their freedom again.
She thinks for a moment. Like kind of looks back at you guys and the lizard folk, female lizard folk that you brought along with you, the one from the egg chamber. She will kind of walk up and kneel, like completely to the ground, like her face basically almost touching the ground, as she says, "Queen Baita, as part of those who acted so brazenly against the traditions of our island and our people, I ask if my word means anything, that you consider the words of these merciful travelers." She kind of looks back at you, Exandri, and then kind of gestures for you guys to like bring forward Jankor.
I go up
I don't-
and I grab Jankor and, get him up in front of her. Kind of manhandle him, but not really. If you know what I mean.
Yes. At this point, Jankor is more or less conscious, though still, severely wounded.
And before as I'm walking him up, I tell her, you're free to do whatever you want with this one, but I have questions for him before you do.
Then would you wish to ask your questions before I cast judgment on this traitor?
I would.
What is it?
I would.
She does like a gesture with her hand, like, go ahead.
I look at Jankor and I say, Polyphorus, the Cyclops, told me that there's a weapon that can defeat gods and titans called the Titan's Bane. Have you heard of it?
He chuckles and says, there is no weapon that can fell the Lord of Storms, you imbecile. Polyphorus was an old, blind fool who could not, well, and pardon the comment, could not see beyond what he had in front of him.
I kind of like throw my elbow into his chest and say, I haven't met a whole lot of blind old people who are dumb. So why don't you tell me what you know?
He looks at you as he kind of keels over from. He's trying to regain his breath, and he says, "So you wish for a weapon that can fail the Titans? In truth, my lord has granted me knowledge that once there was a weapon that held such power. But it has been long gone, disappeared into the ages, when my lord rose to proper power after defeating his weakling siblings."
I look at him menacingly and I say, well, what is the weapon? Is it a physical weapon? Is it a magical weapon? Give me whatever information you have.
I will tell you this. The weapon you look for is one of physical in nature. Or at least it was, should it still exist.
And where was the last place it was seen?
He kinda looks around and then says... And he actually doesn't really say anything so much as he kinda shakes his head and just kinda does like a gesture that is kinda hard to discern because it's, lizard. What's it called? It's almost as if he's not really giving you an answer, not because he doesn't want to, but because he really can't.
I look at him and I tell him, I don't have high hopes for your future, but if you've lied or misled us in any way, know that your followers will pay for it.
Can I insight check that conversation?
What exactly you're trying to discern?
I want to see if the tonality of... I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Jankor?
Of course.
Yeah. Yankor, I want to check if his tonality that he has had throughout the conversation with Bouxfhades has been one of like honesty, or if he's felt like he was coming off defensive and maybe...
Sure. You can roll an insight check. Oof.
I can't roll, guys.
A
How
nat
do I
one.
try?
I mean, even with an 8, it's kind of like the tone of voice of someone who's like who's like really confident that even though he lost, that you guys won't succeed. It's like, like you don't believe he's being particularly deceitful, at least not in like a way that would be too easily discerned. But it's it almost feels like he's just trying to find like a roundabout way to like I guess not properly admit something. Like again, you can't. It's kind of confusing because again you rolled pretty low, so you can't exactly tell. You believe he's not being deceitful in like for the most part, but you're not 100% sure.
And then I've got one more question as well. Did Sidon tell you anything specific about the nameless god in the volcano?
He told me everything. How it is a false deity that we have, well, served tribute to for generations where really we shouldn't have. How, in reality, the only true god or gods in this realm of Thalia are the Lord of Storms and the Lady of Dreams.
Well, he's definitely lying to you because we have a couple on our ship, so...
The 5 jesters that you cling on to so much.
I couldn't mention about your dad. Goddamn.
That why do you believe that they aren't true gods? Tell me.
He kinda thinks for a moment and says, because if they were, they wouldn't be sending mortals to do their job.
I look over at Cass with a look that says, he's kind of right.
Wait, what'd he say? Sorry.
I said,
Your dad.
Yeah. Wait, what did I say or what did Jankor say?
What did Jankor say? Sorry. I was messing with my headset.
The 5 tools. You call them the 5 tools.
What?
Fuck match with your dad.
Jankor said that if they were truly gods, why do they rely on weak mortals to do their bidding?
Now they took shit to us. Smack them. Come on, guys. Now you want to do it?
Isn't Sidon doing the same thing? See it as you were defeated so easily.
The Lord of Storms has great plans for the continent. I am merely an instrument to his will.
Well,
Great
would you not say
plans
the
as
same
in
about us?
resurrecting the Titan, rampage throughout the world, killing and destroying families and homes just because they don't want to bow to his authority.
He looks at you and says, a fate that awaits those who do not see the truth.
Well, I can't say that I'm not sad that you will be executed.
Do it. Yes, executed. Yes.
Baita kind of speaks up and says, an interesting way to cast judgment on this traitor, outsider. But one
Who
that I'm
said
not... Baita. But says, but one that I'm not particularly impartial against.
I look up at her and I say, or we could just eat him.
That is far too great of an honor for scum such as him.
Yeah, he probably tastes bad.
Probably I'll get food.
She kinda looks over and says, Jankor, for the crimes committed against our tribes, for betraying the righteous ways of our culture, for surrendering to the Lord of Storms, for straying from the path of righteousness, I sentence you and your queen to be offered as tribute to the Nameless God, so that maybe in death you may serve a purpose. The rest of your tribe, they are to be working under indentured servitude until we decide their fate. Until they make up for the sins that you committed.
Queen Vita.
She looks at you.
As to the nameless god, she actually has a name.
Oh, the lesser folk, like the royal guards, the shamans, like around, they kind of like look over at you.
Her name is actually Halcyon. She was a sister to Sidon, who was chased across the world of Thylea as he tried to kill him. And in return, she found a jail, an imprisonment within the volcano that rests on this island.
She looks at you and says, "The nerve! How dare you even suggest that a nameless god is related to the two twin titans?"
I kind of
Because
get
she
into a
simply
defensive
is.
stance.
Go ahead, Alexander.
My
I
egg.
said because she simply is. I've spoken with her.
Oh, hold on, you cut out there. You said you've spoken to her and then what?
I've spoken to her and I have seen her.
She looks at you, and one of the shamans speaks up in kind of this very accented common. He says, "You have any proof?"
Damn, feels bad, man.
Actually, out of game, can I share a prophecy? Because I could do a prophecy. But when I do a prophecy reading, does it show it to others?
How do you mean? What ability are you talking about here?
Hold on. So, like, for example, if we go to sleep, I could wake up tomorrow with...
I'm gonna go to bed real quick. I'm gonna go cat. Do some food.
What does this do?
Divination. Let's see. Magic offering to with the god of your servant to ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity occur within the 7 days. The DM offers to reply with a short phrase, scripted rhyme, and omen. The spell doesn't take into account any possible circumstances that might change the outcome, such as the casting of an additional spell. Loss of a companion. If you cast a spell 2 times for finishing an arms race, according to the that you get a random reading, the DM makes this roll secret. This.
Or is this more like just what Versailles does?
You ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within the next 7 days. So this is more like a hey, some guidance within the next 7 days. What goal you're trying to accomplish, what event you think might happen. This is. I guess this could be interpreted more like you have a particular course of action in mind and you want to see what could transpire within the next 7 days that could affect that goal. If you're looking for something... Oh, go ahead.
So then could we theoretically have her drink with us from the Horde of Balmetria?
Potentially. Though you can't exactly control what she might see. You can guide her in the right direction and try what to look for, but she, it's entirely up to the Horn of Balmetria to see what will happen.
Me?
How do I show proof?
Trust me, bro.
Queen Vita, do
Course.
you not have the
What do you say?
ability? I was asking Queen Vita if she had any ability, speak or pray to gods and be heard.
She looks over at the shamans amongst her court and says, "To commune with the forces of nature and those beyond mortal realm is the work of our shamans. They act as mediums between us and what lies beyond." The shaman kind of looks at you and stares at you for a couple of seconds.
I have something that I think could try to attempt, so that you may see that the goddess trapped volcano is in fact Calcia. But I want to say that Calcia does not side with Sidon. She wants him to not come back to life. She just wants to be set free and no longer hunted by her eldest brother. But I have a method that we could try to see if Calcia will converse with you so that you may.
And what is this method of yours?
We have a unique item that when you take a drink from it, it will occasionally help you transcend into a vision of future, past, or present to help you see and understand things that were, are, or are to come. Perhaps if we sit and we share a drink with this horn, it could give us a glimpse into the past, a insight of what happened between Sidon and Calcia.
Roll me a persuasion check.
God damn it.
You have advantage because you're a siren.
You need some help?
No, my said persuasion.
Yes. Alright.
Is that a nat 20?
Yes.
There it is.
You say...
You hit
know,
both into the scale.
you say what you say, and you see as Queen Vita seems to think for a moment. One of the shamans kind of looks at you and seems kind of also sort of like genuinely intrigued. Vita says, "In that case, we shall see what this artifact of yours may be able to do. Guards, take Jankor and his queen away."
As they start moving away, I look at Jankor and I say, make sure to sacrifice him slowly, feet first, and just kind of spit at the ground in front of him.
He doesn't say anything. It seems in his expression is like, it's like that sort of like look that somebody's like, you'll get yours one day type of like look will have.
Sure. Make sure to slice them up real good.
Vita then looks over at you, Derek, and says, Now, to address an element that has been tugging at me for a while.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I take
Egg.
it
Molding egg.
that that is one of the dragon eggs that lied in the volcano, correct?
Correct.
Yes, that is correct. I'm holding it onto it. Holding onto it, dear life. My egg.
Ordinarily, for one to so brazenly claim ownership of the egg, we will cut off their hands to show an example. But these are extraordinary circumstances. She says, "Do you understand the responsibility that lies in protecting one such creature?"
I'm still giddy because I have the egg, but I tell her in a true way that yes, I do. I've done it before, I believe. I know how strong these creatures can be, how wild if not treated well or taken care of well. I'll do my absolute best to take care of this egg and make sure it is fostered well and healthy. And when the time comes, to make sure that it's a proper dragon that can be useful to this world. It's the egg.
Very
Oh,
well. I suppose it should be a form of a transaction between you granting us our freedom. We shall allow you such the honor.
Hey. Hear that egg?
Now, can you produce this artifact that will show us the truth behind the nameless god?
Yes. I will. Are we like in her little hut?
Yeah, you're in her little in her court. Like I guess didn't move you to the map specifically, but like if you need to just get like a visual context as to how it looks like, is this.
Okay, so I will approach her with the Horde of Balmitra and really fucking good wine. I will pour a drink into the Horde, and I will ask the guys, watch out for any aggressive tall tale signs that they should try and pull us from the.
I stand up behind Cass and I say, I'll yank you right out of that dream.
Okay. I don't like the way you said that, but thanks, Belle. You go.
My egg. I'm hugging my egg.
A little concerned at the tonality, but we'll circle back around on that one later. Okay, so I will sit with Queen Vita. And
Can I play a lullaby? Come on, let me play a lullaby, guys. Come on.
you can play a song if you wish.
My performance, though. I gotta make sure it's good.
As I am sitting with her, I don't know exactly. Do we have instructions on the horde, or does it literally just say drink from this?
It's basically you, as far as you are aware, you just need to drink deep from it, and you'll fall into a prophetic slumber. You can try to focus on a specific, course of action or event or person or whatever, but more often than not, the visions are kind of erratic to a certain degree.
Okay. So, as I'm filling the horde, I will tell Vita, I'll be like, I need you to focus really hard on the goddess within the volcano. She is where she comes. I need you to keep these thoughts as we drink from the horn, and don't ever let them waver from the targeted subject.
That 20. Oh, you guys go sleep so well, like a baby. I'm a goat, of course.
And then
Freaking
I
That's my-
will
A 30.
start drinking from the horn with her. And as I'm drinking from the horn, like the whole time, I'm thinking of wow, why did I just forget her name?
Vita.
Calcia.
Calcium.
I'm thinking of Calcia
Oh.
and how she became entrapped in the volcano and why she is in the volcano and how to free Calcia from its grasp. And like the whole time, it's just like all of these questions about Calcia and why her life has ended up the way that it is, and like how can we make it better for her? How can we fix Calcia's imprisonment, and hopefully Queen Vita is doing the same thing.
Okay.
Does my egg reflect with my song that rolled a 30?
God damn.
I would presume you.
That's one hell of a lullaby.
I would presume that
Banger.
I would presume that you put the egg down before grabbing your instrument. And then start
I'm
to
sitting.
play.
I'm sitting on the floor with my egg. I'm like Indian style with it, and I put it aside, let it lean against him, and I start playing a lullaby.
Okay.
Does that have effect on my egg?
All right.
Any
I
effect?
mean, I'll tell you in a moment. What's it called?
Hug.
What happens is that, well, who you see as Queen Vita and Exandri, drink from the Horn of Almitria. The soldiers are kind of at the ready of like, I'm not sure about this, but sure, if the queen says it's alright, then it's alright.
I look at the dragon or the lizard folk that's like closest to the queen, and I just say, "Hey, if I tell you to shake her awake, you do it."
The guy looks at you and kind of slowly nods along. What's it called? So you both see as you all see as both Vita and Exandri, upon like moments after drinking from the Horn of Almitria, their bodies just kind of fall into a deep slumber. Not sure if Exandri was standing up while this was happening, but if she was,
Oh no,
then...
I was sitting on the floor in front of her.
Okay, so yes, Vita like immediately closes her eyes. Her body like kind of slumps a little bit in her throne. Exandri also kind of like slumps. And the lizard folk are like, Queen Vita. But they notice that she's not dead. She's just asleep. What's it called? You see as upon realizing that she's just asleep, the other lizard folk are looking at you guys like, this better work for your sake. What's it called? As far as the dream goes, you begin to see projecting yourselves into a bit of a an out-of-body experience. Once again, much like many other of the visions from the Horn of Balmitria that you guys have gotten, you see everything as if you were like a free camp, basically, around the area. You see what appears to be a rowdy ocean, completely untamed, as if this is the early stages of Tylea's, beginnings, shall we say. You see as a being, a silhouette of pure light seems to run across the surface of the water at such a speed that it seems as if the water is, like solid ground. you would see as this figure who you can't really have a comparison to measure what size they may be. Seems to find this reef of sorts around the the rowdy waters and begins to sort of like close its eyes, or at least what you perceive to be its eyes. Again, it's kind of made of light, and then sort of like begins to breathe seemingly, and then completely calm as it begins to kind of sink below the surface of the waters. Right around that time, the image flashes as whoosh, the vision is being torn, seemingly asunder, as you are violently pulled into a different visage. You see more abstract, imagery that seems to be this starry night sky with multiple stars shining down. One of them, a red star that kind of stands out amongst all of them, seems to glow with ominous presence. It seems almost as if it's an eye staring, at your point of view, at you directly, seemingly. Another flash, and you're violently ripped to a different location. You see as you kind of have like a bird's eye view of the ocean and the surrounding land masses, and then this earthquake happens as the earth itself begins to kind of split and morph in places. For a moment, there's this wave across the your view, as it seems almost as if somebody is like reaching into the landscape itself and plucking it, molding it like clay. What's it called? In a few moments, you realize that you're actually seeing the being of light being encapsulated by these clumps of earth that are being taken out and replaced around it. The being realizes all too late that it has been incarcerated, and then it begins to run, or try to run as fast as it could, only to be met with a stop. As one final clump of rock is placed in front of it, the being crashes and falls back, seemingly in pain. There's one more flash of your vision, and it's as if you're seeing a time lapse as the clouds move rapidly, the sun rises and lowers, and is in that same location where all those clumps of rock were sort of like molded into a different shape. You see as time passes and they begin to form into different terrain. An island, seemingly. Throughout all of this, there's been kind of these ethereal whispers accompanying the visions that are indiscernible at first, but it almost sounds like someone being called out to, someone's name being repeated, not in like a gentle way by any means, as if someone's being accused, persecuted by another unseen force. Eventually, when the time lapse of sorts reaches a particular point, a large eruption emanates from the middle of the island, and lava begins to flow freely. For a moment, there's a shake in the scenery, as if whatever being lies inside this mass of earth that has now become an island is even now yelling out in pain. And then the words become more discernible. You believe you hear a name being spoken now a bit more clearly. The sleep provided by the Horn of Almitria is a deep slumber. even after the vision fades, Vita and Exandri would be out of it for a while. Unless they are somehow awoken. Obviously, you guys don't know if they're still seeing the vision or not. From your perspective, they're still asleep.
What was the name that we heard at the end, or did we cut off?
Okay, I guess I left that a little bit too vague, huh? The name that was being called was the name of the nameless god, Calcia. Now, the rest of you guys who are not seeing the vision, who are still standing out here, again, you would see Vita and Exandri still asleep, seemingly in a deep slumber that lasts for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
I look over at Porunga, and I look at Drac and say, "Hey guys, how long does this usually take?"
Not sure. We're usually sleep during the process.
All night, my guy. All night, dude. All night, my guy. All night.
All day.
That was the best line for Drag all season.
Right? No kidding.
I don't know. I'm always asleep.
I say, well,
That was my 3 words for the session.
I guess we wait.
Yeah,
I plop down kind of on the ground opposite of Xandri, looking out at the other lizard folk to make sure they're not doing anything shady.
Not doing anything shady, but upon hearing you, like, oh, well, we sleep through this, I guess we wait. One of the lizard folk, the shaman specifically, speaks up and says, wait, so is the queen sleeping for presumably the rest of the day?
I really hope not, but I say we give them an hour, and then we'll attempt to wake them.
The lizard folk are looking very impatient.
I say, well,
Lizard
you know,
folk are like,
you
what
can.
the fuck is an hour?
I say, well, I mean, you're welcome to incur your queen's wrath if you wake her up before she finishes her vision, but, you know, and I kind of throw my arms up in the air and say, or you can wait an hour.
They look at each other, they look at the position of the sun in the sky, then they look back at you, and one of them says, we shall wait this, and we shall wait an hour. After which, answers will need to be given.
That's all I ask.
As for Derek over there, who's playing the lullaby, the background music in the background.
Banger of a song.
Is he gonna play for the whole hour?
Yes. Bro, I'm a bard. I can play as long as I want, buddy. You jealous?
I mean, he did roll a 30.
I do last long.
Start playing Jeopardy music.
Damn, that must have hurt to admit, right?
Oh.
What's it called?
Feels bad, man.
So Derek, you proceed to play. Actually, what instrument do you use to play this?
Well, I have the 3. Hold up, I forgot my character sheet is at.
He's got his 50 magical items.
Shut up before I slap you. One of my instruments. I play the flute.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I'm proficient at. Yeah. Basically, I play my flute. Shut up, Porunga. I don't use a goddamn triangle. I use my flute and I play a nice lullaby.
He plays the cowbell.
And it's nice and peaceful, you know. And I hope everybody enjoyed it, since it's a banger of a song I played.
So you play.
It's more like a.
So you play a calm melody on the flute. to try and ease the idea of slumber into Queen Vita and Exandri. And it's probably one of your better pieces you've ever played.
Banger. It always happens.
It's a shame that it was a lullaby and not a public performance. But we take every win we can get. As you do this, Derek. So you're saying you're laying against the egg? Is this correct?
Yeah, it's basically like I'm still sitting down like Indian style cross on the floor. I play it. I have it basically like leaning against my shoulder or like against my shoulder. I can feel like it's heavy, but I just let it and I keep playing. I just like use it. It's like use it like I cradle it little by little as I play the melody. Like in a rhyme, of course. Like push and pull and push and pull. I'm cradling the egg.
For a moment.
How do you?
Go ahead.
I was just saying, how's he gonna play a flute and cradle an egg if he only has 2 hands?
I'm using my shoulder.
Oh,
It's against my shoulder. I'm like a metronome. I'm like metronoming with it. So it goes back and forth, back and forth. I'm moving my body like this back and side to side. Well, side to side.
Fucking knocking on the egg.
No, I'm not doing that shit. How dare you say that? How dare you? Derek is offended. No, I was kidding. I've never heard of my egg.
So, you kind of like maintaining physical contact with the egg as you're playing your lullaby. And for a moment, it seems as if the egg was naturally sort of like produces a heat of its own, just like naturally. You would have believed that by this point, since you've taken it out of the volcano, it's no longer as heated up as it was before. But for a moment, it seems that the heat emanating from the egg itself begins to rise a little bit. The more the melody goes on, the more the change is discernible. At some point, it feels almost uncomfortably so. What's it called?
I don't give a shit if it burns my back. If it burns my back,
it
it's
doesn't.
fine.
It doesn't like burn. It's just like it's kind of like, it's kind of like if you were to hold your hand over, let's this stove for a long enough period of time. At some point, it just kind of feels like,
I still go. It's fine.
At some point, there are some intervals where you're like rocking it, and it almost feels like there's like something moves inside the egg. You can't exactly tell if it's like, oh shit, is it like ready to hatch? And then you look over, you keep playing, and no cracks in the egg so far, but it almost seems like the life within the egg is still alive, is still there, and there's some degree of recognition. It seems that the egg is having from its outside surroundings, as if it's reacting to the music that you're playing.
It's gonna come out dancing, guys. Just watch out.
You don't believe it's gonna hatch just yet, but it seems you've at the very least steered the life within it to recognize this stimuli of sounds.
I'm overjoyed, so I just keep playing, basically.
Right.
I keep playing until they wake up, basically. That's what I'm gonna do. If I'm tired, I'm gonna keep going. Alright?
Can I ask
if I start taking damage from the heat, I'll heal myself. I use all my spell slots to keep it.
Or is gonna say, Bell?
I was gonna say, can I ask a out of game question? If we wake one of the people with the horn, or from the horn, does it wake both of them or just the one we wake?
It just wakes the one you wake.
Okay, I didn't know if it was like a connected dream. You know what I mean, like a.
It's a magically provided dream, but it's not like connected. I don't believe. In fact,
okay.
I mentioned this in passing a couple of times. The other times that people have tried to use the horn. but it's more like there's like a time dilation happening there from the perspective of those who are seeing the dream. Regardless of when they wake up, they will see, the vision that I just described. Kind of
Yeah.
like funky time dilation shenanigans with the dream.
Right. I gotcha.
So an hour
Then,
passes. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say. I was gonna ask if the hour had passed.
Eventually does. The hour does pass. And the lizard folk is still kind of growing restless and impatient, and the shaman looks at you. After a couple, in the last couple, like 10 or so minutes of the hour, they've been asking, like, is it time? But then, you're like, just give it like one more couple minutes, and eventually, the full hour passes, and the
I just
question
when we get down to like the last 5 minutes, I'm like, I'm just like, take 3 laps around the building and it'll be time.
they look at you like, huh?
I think the amount of time it would take you to take 3 laps around this building is how long we need.
They stare at you like they're not sure if this is like outsider humor or like what's what
Well, I after the time has passed, I lean back against Cass because we're sitting back to back. I just kind of lean back against her and then nudge her with my elbow a few times and be like, "Hey, wake up!"
sadly not enough to wake her up.
Then I get up off the ground. I go, I pick her up off the ground, like kind of by her arms, and then just like shake her, and I'm like, "Hey, wake up!"
How violently? How violently?
Not like ragdoll violently. Like
check, buddy. Sorry.
No, like slightly. Like I want her body to move, but not like break her neck.
We're talking about someone with giant level strength shaking shaking like 100-pound Siren, less than 100
She's like
pounds.
35 pounds.
I shake her. I shake her, starting very lightly and slowly increasing the amount of shaking until I'm comfortable with the amount of shaking that I'm shaking her.
Okay.
What?
I'll say roll me an athletics just because. We'll see. Let's see how funny this is.
There we go.
12. Okay, you rolled kind of low. If you would have rolled pretty high, that would have been like, yeah.
The one time I was hoping for a nat 1.
So you kind of shake her, making sure to hold your strength back enough so that you don't accidentally harm her, and then eventually, after like a couple of movements of you shaking her, you see as Alexandria begins to to wake up.
As she's still waking up, I just continue to shake her as she's waking up.
What the fuck's going on?
And I'm just like, I'm absent-minded, like I'm staring off into space, just shaking.
I slapped the fuck out of him.
I'm like, oh, whoa, you're awake, great. Is the dream over?
Fucking, I don't know.
Like, well, you were out for an hour and the lizards were getting grumpy, so.
Fuck, the world's moving. Calm down. What's going on?
Oh, I was like, and then I stopped shaking her. She was shaking that whole conversation.
Fuck. Okay, wake up, Queen Vita. Shit, bro.
And then
I'll remember this next time you drink from the horn.
Like, hey, I tried to nicely wake you up, but you wouldn't wake up, so I got a little scared.
Like,
I wanted to make sure you were still
water
alive.
On me?
I don't have any water.
We're in a forest and you couldn't find any water? Did you even ask?
I never claimed to be a smart man.
One of the lizard folk says, Do you intend to shake Queen Vita the same way you've shaken your companion?
I say, no, I would never disrespect you or your queen. You may go wake her as you please.
Kinda looks over at the at one of the at the shaman that is nearby. You see as the shaman kinda reaches into this sort of like leather pouch he has around his outfit and pulls out this little small concentrated sort of like clump of what appears to be some form of like plants perhaps. And he like walks up over to Queen Vita and says, "We have our own methods of snapping people out of trances." As he kind of places the clump of herbs underneath Vita's nose, snout, whatever you may call it, and stays there for a couple of seconds. And you see in the shaman's face, like, oh, this might not be strong enough. He looks over. Go ahead.
I look at the shaman and I go, "You want me to shake her?"
As you say, as if on cue, as you say that, after like a good 20 seconds of the shaman facing like the herbs underneath Vita's nose, you hear and see as Vita kind of begins to wake up from her slumber and says, "You could have warned me that." Get this away from me, as she kind of like slaps the hand away from the shaman. She turns back and says, "I feel far too sluggish. You could have warned me of such an after effect, outsider."
Here. I've only drank from it once before.
She kind of like takes a deep breath. Seems to you see like that.
And it was bedtime.
you see like the two lesser folk eyelids, like two sets of eyelids, kind of like blink, a couple of times, and she says, "I must admit, we've never had the privilege of interacting with such a magical artifact of such discernible power. I'm not quite sure, even now, truly what is it that I saw, but at the very least, I believe you when you say that it holds power to see things beyond the realm of perception. And that name, at the very least, if anything, that was clear enough to me." If it is as you say, and the story, the vision, that this horn has provided to my mind is true, then this changes almost everything we thought we knew about the Nameless God. This information that most of the other tribes will not willingly accept. Do you understand that?
I do. But would you help? Would you help me make sure everybody remembers her name? She wants Siren to be defeated.
We are no allies to the Lord of Storms. Well, now that Jankor's been dealt with, hopefully that rebellious aspect has been squashed out. But it'll be difficult for our people to accept the truth that the Nameless God is indeed one of Sidon's own siblings.
In the vision, she was the star that was trapped within the rock. You see the red star, correct?
She nods.
Okay, out of game. That was Siren, correct?
Yeah, you believe it was like an abstract representation of Sidon. Sidon's symbol is often associated as a red eye, so you believe that could have been like an abstract representation of him in the vision.
Okay, I wanted to make sure. In the vision, the red star, how it felt like an eye. It was Sidon. He imprisoned her. All she wants is to be. She doesn't want him to become powerful, reign over the world, and resurrect the Titan. She doesn't want that to happen. Neither. One of our goals are to travel over Thylea and gain information from all of Sidon's who he has locked away for fear that they might rise up against. Please help me spread the word of her name and who she. There will be a fight in the future. It may or may not ever reach this island. Hopefully we are strong enough and fast enough to stop it before it even comes to fruition.
She thinks for a moment, looks at her shaman, at her royal guard, at her subjects in general, and then says, "Very well. Though I believe that this is a task for us alone to carry. You've already done far too much for the people of this island, and no doubt your journeys will call you further away from our lands. Let us play our part in this effort, and we shall share the new revelation with our people."
That's all I ask. Thank you, Queen Vita, for delving into the divination.
She nods and says,
Oh, also, we destroyed the statue of Sidon residing in the volcano. There are no other statues of him on this island, correct?
"If they are, my people will make sure they are reduced to rubble."
I appreciate.
Get on him first a little bit and destroy it.
Now, Dawnbringers, as you call yourselves, go forth and continue on your journeys. I've already had arranged for my people to be ready with the requests that you have given them before you departed. They should be at the ready.
Yay! Wizzy Lizzy gets his armor!
And after she says that, I kind of step forward next to Cass and I say, "Is there any way I could also, or I'm sorry, Xandri, I say, is there any way I could ask for one more favor, possibly?"
Queen Vita kind of looks at you and kind of tilts her head, almost questioningly.
And I just say, "Do you by chance have any extra riding lizard saddles that you'd be willing to part with?"
She looks at you and says, "Have you decided to attempt to tame one of our beasts of burden?"
Two actually, but yes, I would like to.
Those of you who are hanging further at the back, Drakgar and Derek will notice as Heliope kind of writes something down on her journal, and then she says, "Oh boy, that's going to be quite a number of supplies dedicated to those ones." What's it called? Vita says, "Two, you say?"
Yeah, I'm pretty confident I can learn to tame them.
Very well.
Bo, we might only have room 1 on the ship. Please remember that we're already at max capacity, and we will now be taking an extra rider and health. Yeah, I can't remember how to say on.
Hold on,
You don't
you.
necessarily
You're
have.
you're breaking up really bad.
Their mic doesn't like words.
Please remember that we have max capacity on our ship, and that both a riding lizard and the Cyclops name that starts with E that I can't remember,
Holy
Steros.
Forest.
Thoris, will be accompanying us. May not have uh supplies to feed many more.
Okay, I'll take
So
one.
I would choose a lizard, and probably also check on their sex, because I don't know if Wizzy Lizzie's fixed. I don't know if that's a thing.
Yeah, I guess I say okay, I will pick one of the two, but I guess back to the question, is it possible that you have an extra saddle you can part with?
Oh, I was muted. Sorry. She will look over you and say, "Very well. Then, upon your departure, address some of our leather workers. They should be able to procure one that isn't in use already."
Great. And then do you have any experts in riding lizards who could help me pick one that would likely get along better with our current lizard companion?
She raises an eyebrow. Well, as best as a lizardfolk can do. And
Maybe he would like a girlfriend. I'm not quite sure.
she says, "I suppose that could be possible. You can very easily identify the males and the females apart by the crest around their head."
Okay. Thank you for that. I'm not sure. So does the crest a boy or a girl? I guess I know nothing about lizards.
The female ones have a larger crest.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So she nods along and says, "Is there anything else we can provide for you before you depart?"
I look at Xandri and Drac, and I look back at the others, and like kind of with the look that says I'm all done. Do you guys have anything else?
That sounds like a no.
Nope, not that I could think of. Wizzy Lizzie got his gear though, right?
He will be given a barding for his armor class. Give me just 1 second while I
Yay.
look up the specific barding that this will be.
I'm so happy.
Because they don't have a lot of metal materials. They kind of just have to do with what they have. So it would be something akin to like studded leather barding. Which, let me see, what would that be? Barding. Let's see. Give me 1 moment while I open Wizzy's fucking sheet. And give me 1 second. So with studded leather barding, wizard's armor class will effectively increase by 2 to 14.
Yay! He's now no longer super squishy like half our party.
You mean you?
And then before we leave, I look at Xandri and I'd be like, "Can I borrow Wizzy Lizzy for a minute to help me decide which lizard I want to bring?
Yeah, sure. I'll kind of caress my regal animal speech, and I'll be like, "Hey, Wizzy Lizzy," and I'll give him little chin scritchies, and I'll be like, will you go with Bo for a minute? He wants to take a lizard with us to tame. Um, will you let him know which one you like better as another wizard companion that will be on the road with us?"
Mm, Wizard thinks for a moment. And says, "Someone else like me? Yes,
Yes.
yes. Let's get one of those." He kind of looks over at Bouxfhades and says, "I go with Meathead, right?"
Yes, you go with Meathead.
I kind of squint my eyes at him and I say, "Hey, you."
No, you can't
We're on-
understand
Hey,
this.
you can't hear him. You
Oh.
can't
can't hear
understand
him.
this.
Oh, I thought I could hear him.
It's this.
But you do.
Go ahead.
But you do see his look at your face, and I feel like his tongue would like droop out of his mouth, like he's hungry when he says it.
Hungry.
But I
I'm
reply
gonna
back
believe
in
that.
animal speech. Yes, go with Meathead.
In a wizard.
That's what you get for giving him meat, bro.
Wizard looks over at Bouxfhades and again, because it is actually pretty smart because of the fucking headband of intellect. It will look over at Bouxfhades and do like a gesture with its body, like, "Come on, let's go. Let's get out of here."
Okay, I run off with the lizard.
They both girls.
That's what we're gonna go find out. We gotta go find out first.
Just gotta let
Wizzy
Wizzy Lizzy who he wants his friend to be.
Yeah.
He's gonna get his game. He's gonna pull more than literally the whole group, except Cass, except Xandria, because
Rein it in, Derek. Rein it in.
What's it called? You accompany Wizard to the stables where they're keeping the two taken, shall we say, giant lizards that you fucking swiped from the Firewalker village. What's it called? One of the lesser folk looks back at you, Bouxfhades, and they will, gesture for the tack and harness. With the like this harness with a saddle and the barding, for Wizard, that they will begin to promptly apply on him as they were instructed to. While this is happening, a different group of lizard folk are kind of tending to the giant lizards that you left for them, and now that Queen Vita has pointed it out to you, you do notice one of them is male and one of them is female.
Okay. I asked the lizard folk in their native tongue and say, after dealing with these two, what are their temperaments?
The one of the lizard folk looks over and says, "This one is quite aggressive. You got yourselves quite the intriguing ones from the Firewalkers. Though not anything that can't be eventually calmed." Pointing at the male one. Then points at the female one and says, "This one, similar, but less so. I would imagine you'd have regardless of which one you pick, you'll have a rough time properly keeping it under check."
I look at him and I just kind of say, "Well, you got any tips?"
Keep it well fed, with ample amounts of small game that you may hunt and collect.
Okay.
Besides that, keep it in an environment that it may be able to bask in the rays of the sun for extended periods of time."
All right. That's easy enough. As we'll be on a boat in the ocean, there'll be plenty of deck space.
Quite so. As for the food, well, this one has grown far too accustomed to the small game around this island. You may be having some difficulty in satiating his appetite unless you're willing to sacrifice some of whatever animal livestock you have in your ship. That
Yeah,
one
we will.
points at Wizard and says, "We've noticed this one is different. It has been too accustomed to the life beyond the borders of this island, so it eats whatever you may toss at it."
I look at Wizzy and I'm like, yeah, this one's pretty great. He's a good companion, and he's actually gonna help me train whichever one I pick.
They both look confused.
And I say he's intelligent.
They kind of nod, and one of the lizard folk at the pens will say, "Well, take your pick then. Will it be the male one or the female one?"
Has Wizzy finished being outfitted, or is he still being outfitted?
At
this point.
He's kind of like they're still putting the final like finishing touches on applying the starter letter barding, and what's it called? You would notice that he's looking your direction. He seems to be paying attention. Again, he doesn't understand the common. Xander communicates with him through speak with animals, but it seems smart enough to understand what the general emotion of the situation is.
Yeah, well, I look at Wizzy and I kind of like smack my armor chest and point to him, and I like give him a thumbs up, like you look good, like good fit. And then I point at the two lizards and I point in between them, and I look at him and I say which one.
Wizard is again you can't understand because you don't have a speak with animals, but seems to be looking around. His head does that lizard tilt of like I'm gonna move my head all the way to the side so I can look at what I'm looking at correctly. And eventually you see as with the front of its head does like a movement, lifting his head up slightly at at the female lizard.
I look at the I look at the handlers and I say we'll take the female, and I look back at Wizzy and I say, you sly dog.
The handlers, one of the handler will say, "Well, in that case, we shall see how this goes. Though we are not very well sure. We believe these two," kind of gesturing at the ones independent, "may have been mates at some point. But sure, if you want to keep one of them, then they kind of like put the little harness on the other one and begin to pull them over to you." Pull her, or rather, over to you, and you see that it is a bit rowdy. The handlers are kind of like, just not really struggling, but they're having a hard time, kind of, keeping her in check. And they eventually bring her over to you.
I'm going. Let me see what give me a second. Let me look at my Can I use a commanding presence on it with persuasion?
How would
I basically walk up to I grab the lizard's harness and I reach my hand out to it and I say, look, kind of give it that feeling of, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to help you. You're gonna come with us.
I just simply put my hand on Bo's shoulder because my speak with animals is still active, and
I turn around and freak the heck out because I did not know Xandri was behind me.
I will bend down closer to the lizard and be like, "Hello. You will be going on an adventure with us starting today. Would you please follow us?"
You've defeated my companions. You've beaten me. Now you tear me
Damn, this
away
one's
from my
more
mate.
intelligent than Lizzie.
Well, again, I'm playing Speak with Animals the same way it's played in Baldur's Gate 3. What's it called? It was so yes, the lizard would point out how you fucking beat up her caretakers. You've beat her up as well, and now you're tearing her apart from her mate. Why?
I asked Xandri what it said.
She doesn't want to leave her mate.
Tell it.
So
Okay, I'm not there. I'm not there.
maybe ask if they have one that's not mated, guy or girl, to come with us. If not, we're just probably going to have to leave them behind.
Bro, y'all are ruining this. Fine. I look at the wizard or the lizard folk, and I say in their common tongue, I ask them, it looks like this one is mated. Do you guys have one that you would be willing to trade me for this one that is not mated?
They would think for a moment, and then one of them will kind of shrug and go, I suppose we could find one. One moment, as the lizard goes all the way back to the back of the pens.
Cash should,
Takes a couple
Cash
of
should
minutes.
go with them.
What do you say?
I think Cash should go with him so she could find him a girlfriend from the mom. Mom has to choose the girlfriend.
What's it called?
Same.
I mean, if you believe the lizard folk is capable enough to find the creature. Takes a couple of minutes, during which you're just all kind of standing, waiting around, and then eventually, you see as the handler pulls like one from the far back who isn't really too rowdy and aggressive as the other ones, and just kind of pulls it and says, "This one's mate was killed in a skirmish that we unfortunately had with some of the larger creatures in the island. Perhaps this one may be useful for you."
Is it male or female?
Appears to be female.
I look at him and I say, I look at the lizard and I walk around it and inspect it to make sure that it's not been, it's it's not malnourished, or like it doesn't look like it's been beaten or hurt or like anything like that.
Has injuries, but otherwise doesn't seem, unfed.
Does it have current injuries or past injuries?
They look to be quite old.
Okay. I look at Cass and I say, "What do you think? You think this one's a good one?"
Lizzie,
Cass.
is it okay if this one becomes your new friend?
Kinda looks. You can tell Wizard isn't particularly. Seems kind of neutral for the most part, but then says, "Sure, why not?"
Oh, you're such a good Lizzie. I give him kiss his forehead. And then I look at the new the new lizard, and I'll be like, "Hello. Would you like to go on an adventure with us?"
It remains quiet for a couple of seconds before saying, "I suppose so."
All right.
Not
Do you
like
have a
there's-
name?
Not like there's anything here for me anyway.
Can we please name it Eeyore?
Yeah, can I Depresso?
Nora.
Depresso?
Eeyore? Okay.
Eora.
If you would come with us,
Does it
go,
already
we're
have a
gonna-
name, or are we going to name it?
Yeah,
Bright blue
the fucking lizard
sky.
folk don't name their giant lizards.
Only the party does.
I asked Cass, what it said.
it said in a very, very sad, depressing voice. Yeah, because they have nothing else to live for here. Okay, let's go.
Aware.
I was like,
Every day.
I asked the lizard men to saddle it for me, and then I say that they can do as they wish with the other two that I brought. They are now theirs. And I asked them to treat them well, as that we kind of roughed them up a little bit in the volcano.
They nod along and say, well, in that case, I believe this is the trading that we, the satisfactory trading that we can provide for those who assisted us. Take care of the beast of burden. May it be useful to you as it was for us.
Thank you. And I grab its harness, and I guess we roll out back to the rest of the party.
You all meet up once again, and what's it called? Eventually, well, it seems that life goes to, well, life for the lesser folk seems to go to a sense of normalcy. Even at a distance, you can see like the trail that goes up the volcano. It's now being traveled by a group, like a contingent of lizard folk alongside their giant lizards. He's presumably properly now approaching the volcano to resume their their tributes to Calcia. You do notice that they appear to have some members of the tribe of the Firewalkers, and now seemingly in some form of labor force in around the villages. Probably the best compromise you could have gotten in exchange for their lives. What's it called? All throughout of this, every time one of the lesser folk would pass you by, they seem to kind of recognize you and salute you before they go around their daily activities. At some point, Queen Vita, alongside her royal guards, comes back up to meet you guys and says, "We apologize if we cannot throw you a celebratory feast like last time. We have much to work on, and many mountains of information to share with the other tribes. For now, a more humble departure is what we shall make do with for today." Did you guys say something?
No, I think that's it. Thank you very much, Queen Vita. Guys, we really should get going. Oh, wait. Are there any animals on the island that we could harvest their meat for food?
There could be. I mean, you guys saw these strange, creatures around that were closer to the volcano than they are in the rest of the island. Flying around. They look like they could provide perhaps some degree of nourishment. Are you asking Vita directly?
Yeah.
She will think and say, "There's plenty of creatures in this island of ours that either serve to provide balance to the nature, or to provide us with full bellies each night. You are welcome to use these grounds as your hunting grounds if you wish, but, well, it won't be right now. We are, going to go through a healing process of sorts. Perhaps we could spare some of the members of the Firewalkers that were spared of their fate, and you could bring them along to assist you if you trust them good enough."
Well, guys, we are going to need food. Taking on extra hands, but should
I
we
don't
go
mind
hunt?
helping. Yeah, I don't mind helping hunt.
My hands are too full. Sorry, guys.
Also,
I'll help hunt.
Literally.
also, I'm naming my riding dragon Tethys.
Is that a female name?
It's not.
You mean the
Yeah.
lizard?
It's not a dragon.
Yeah, the
Oh, I'm
lizard.
just saying.
Whatever, same thing.
Okay.
It's a evolved lower species of dragon. It's a lizard. It'll be okay.
All
My
right.
bad. Is it general neutral? My bad. I mean progressive. My bad.
But yeah,
I'm
I'm
gonna
down.
t- I'm
I'm
using-
down to have hunt.
Yeah,
I'm gonna use this
let's
time
go hunting.
I'm gonna use this time to walk to the ship because I know it's take me forever to go because I'm carrying this egg.
Derek, just stay here.
Love my egg.
Stay here with your egg, bro.
Yeah, it will be fine, bro.
As a matter of fact, take your egg back to the ship. We just go hunt.
That's what I was saying. I said I'm gonna go to the ship because it take me forever to take it because it's gonna hinder my movement. It's very heavy. I need the time.
But we do need to go hunt for some extra food for the ship.
You
Okay.
guys got this. It's fine. You guys don't need me, quote unquote.
You guys, just kind of begin to travel around the area, trying to look for what you may be able to look for that may look appetizing enough for your new companions. I'm gonna need you guys throughout all of this. The other people that you're bringing along with your journey. Dengren kind of raises his hand and says, should we tag along with this, or should we return to the ship?
With what?
They want to help you. That's what they're saying. Should we
No,
help or not? That's what the-
Dengren is asking, like, do you want him, Heliope, and Rutger to come along with the hunting thing, or should they be making their way back to the ship with Steros?
I ask if any of them are proficient in hunting, or like are good at it.
Hold on, Alexander was about to say something?
I told them that they could go back to the ship unless any of them are good at hunting at things that possibly fly.
Let me double check if any of them are good at hunting. So let's see. Dengren, Rutger, Heliope. Is that what we're doing? Yes, it will. Just give me one moment while I check here. Alright, so
MCAT.
Heliope is not good at hunting, as expected. Rutger is not good at hunting. And Dengran is also not good at hunting. GG's for all three of them.
Yeah, let's go.
What's it called? So they kind of like you're like, oh, is any of you good at hunting? They're just kind of like, like just kind of like shrugging and doing like this sort of like non-committal gestures. What's it called? Steros all kind of like raises his hand as well and says, my expertise lies more on manipulating materials rather than gathering them.
My guy.
Wait. If you guys will just help make sure Derek gets back to the ship safely.
I touch egg. Mine.
Rutger says, yes, we'll make sure he gets back to the ship safely. Raises an eyebrow. What's it called?
I wait.
Egg is precious.
Steros say, here's hoping that there's no unfortunate accidents on the way back.
Heresy! No! No, my egg. Madge.
But yes,
I know
they
you're playing
will
around,
be,
but still.
we're going back with Derek to the ship. I would think there's still one other robot for you guys to use. Now, the rest of you, I'm just gonna need a very quick survival check, and for Drakgar Wanderer, I'll say this allows you to get, like small game, small creatures, maybe berries and the like. Yeah, water if you have anywhere to refill your water skin. That'll be useful with the Wanderer. But I would still I guess actually, because of that, I'll omit the survival check that would otherwise happen here, thanks to Drakgar's background feature. Okay.
Oh
Well, never
no.
mind. You rolled anyway, and that was ass.
God
What's it
damn it.
called?
It's you cut like the meats are so bad.
You
Do all of us need to roll it?
Not really. Like I said, I was gonna say I was even going to omit the survival check because of Drakgar's background.
like
But I
a
will
click
say,
to
the creatures you find here in Fire Island are not quite like the creatures that you would find in the mainland of Thylea. They are, well, for one, more scaly, so to speak. They are not quite resembling your average, creatures in Thylea. Whereas in any other tribal, you would find like at least like a wolf or a fox out there in the wild. Instead, you find this sort of like small, scaled, sometimes feathery creatures just running around this island that they're not quite familiar with what the naming convention for these creatures may be. What's it called? Yeah, large reptiles, and other forms of, reptile adjacent, creatures that seem to be, populating various segments of this island. Hold on, where is the image? Here we go. Yeah, like this one. What's it called? A lot of these are pretty easy to kill. They may look intimidating at first, but they are not, particularly hard to hunt down once you get the hang of it. You grab a couple of these. I'll say, can anybody roll me a D10?
Drac, you need to quit rolling.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, don't roll. You're so bad. So bad.
Like, you managed to
two
catch quite a number of these smaller reptilian-like creatures. You believe that with some fine cutting on the meats, you'll be able to provide enough food to sustain your companions for a foreseeable future. Probably for the next, shall we say? I'll say for the next 10 days, at the very least, should be pretty alright for your companions.
Are we able to fish too on the ship? Just
You
to-
can, if
curious.
you wish. Like, the implication is that the fishing and food gathering is handled on a daily basis by some of the other sailors who are experienced at that. But you can assist if you wish.
Oh, okay.
In fact, Porunga, when you are accompanying the party in like getting this strange creatures from this island, you would hear in the back of your mind the voice of Esther Calander saying, "Imagine if we could find one of these, but bigger. That would be an incredible war mount." Perhaps
And
we-
also be a lot of food.
Now, well, that could also be the case. Perhaps if we were to look around hard enough, we might be able to find one. Don't you think?
We probably could. We could ask the others.
There's a pause in Ezra Calendar's voice before he says, "Right, of course." And he retreats back to the back of your mind.
I asked the guys if they want to look for like bigger game that could fetch us more meat.
That'd be fun. But I think
I'm
we're
up
good.
for it. But I mean, yeah, I mean, if y'all want to, I'm down for it. But if Xander's making us leave, then we'll do what we got to do.
We'd probably.
Try. Wait, what are we doing?
We got enough food, but Estor talked Porunga into wanting to go for something bigger.
No, we're fine.
Okay. Well, and then I guess we'll just go back to the ship.
All right. You gathering what you
All right.
have. You hop on the second rowboat that you used to get here, and return to the Ultros. And I have to discard the T-Rex fight on the background.
Aw, dang it.
Dang.
You guys, fucking row your asses all the way back to the
Thanks,
ship.
Andrew.
You're welcome.
You guys roll
Well,
your
it
asses.
sounded like he wanted to capture it as a pet. Where the fuck are we gonna keep a T-Rex?
No, I said for
eat.
food.
I mean, fine, we can go
Yeah.
find a T-Rex.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
are you saying
Why is
that?
the team?
Are you saying
my
that
God.
because you got convinced out of character, or because in character Alexander would agree to it? And also, I was just kind of fucking around when I said that.
I know. And
There's no way. Your team
Uh,
wants a T-Rex. Ain't no
we're way too far into the metagame at this point. Let's just get back to the ship.
We're going back to the ship.
Yeah.
Come back for later, guys. Calm down. The past, why would we bring one with us? Calm down.
Next time you come back, it'll be the Mecha T-Rex. What's it called?
Hold on. It's a. Was it a
But you guys eventually
War
make
Dream?
it
There you go.
back to the Ultros and are welcome, hailed by the rest of the crew with a nice cheer. As it seems, even without much like you more or less assume, they are somehow being relayed the information of what is happening in the island, even without you having to tell them. As if it's almost as if you have an oracle in the ship who can just tell people what is happening.
No
to
way, right?
you.
Right, guys.
What's it
Whoa.
called? You guys are approached by the rest of your crew members, including Kyra and Pythor, who, well, respectively, Kyra would be like, you know, all things considered, I say that went really, really well. And you made it so that now the people may know the story of the Nameless God, or should I say Calcia. Now, I do hope that you know that this may carry some repercussions, but we don't need to worry about those now.
Oopsie.
Hopefully, everything turns out alright, as she kinda gives like a thumbs up. Pythor kinda looks back at you guys and says, and must admit, I did not expect the influence of the Lord of Storms in this island. Perhaps far much of the population of Thylea has been affected by his lies. You did a good thing in reading them from the yoke of this traitorous individual who, well, would have led the entire island down a dark path. And you got yourself a shiny new staff to show for it. Well done.
Whose staff
Oh,
is
yeah.
there?
I twirl it in my hands and hand it over to Porunga. I think the
thank
staff
you.
would best suit. It seems to have an affinity for thunder, and maybe element.
Lightning.
Yes. That would be helpful. Thank you.
Alright. So you take the staff, Porunga?
Yes.
Okay. You grab the staff. I described it before, but just to indicate, just to repeat what the staff looks like. It's kind of like this full silver, like quarter staff, with a couple of dark steel segments in between. The top of the staff seems to kind of spiral and splinter off into, well, like sort of like, you know, prongs that resemble, you know, crackling lightning. So I show you what it does now.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So we got 2 electric weapons now.
Oh
Three act-
yeah.
It's a bit of a long description, but to summarize,
Yeah, it is.
But to summarize what it does, It constitutes as a magical +2 weapon, and once a day you can perform any of those following effects that are listed: lightning, thunder, lightning strike, thunderclap, thunder, lightning. For today, Jankor already used most of those effects during the fight. But you know, once it recharges, you'll be able to use them the same way that he did.
And it
Something to
recharges
replace-
with the long rest.
Recharges every dawn, yes. What's it called? I would like to point out the effects here are not considered spells for the purposes of your meta magic features. They are just magical effects.
Okay.
What's it called? But yes, in case you may have forgotten how to add stuff into your inventory, you just go into the compendium, type Staff of Thunder and Lightning, and then click and drag it onto your sheet. But let's see. With you guys now back onto the ship and getting ready to continue your adventure as you think of your next destination, we'll take a quick 5-minute break and we'll be back in a moment. Right, we're back. So, you guys have now hopped up onto the ship. Like I said, you're being welcomed by the rest of the crew to kind of, who you hear some like, "Hey, I didn't expect the other people to survive that, all of that. I guess I owe you some money." You hear some people like say in the background as there are some chuckles. It seems they didn't really account for the survival of Rudger, Dengren, or Calliope. During that, you see as part of the earnings are actually given to them as part of surviving the ordeal.
As this should be. They saved our ass a couple of times.
You see as Dengren kind of just looks at the coins. They're not like anything crazy like silver and copper. They're not being paid in gold. But they look over and they're like, Dengren says, I am most facing insulted that my life was the objective of a gamble. But I suppose I probably would have done the same in your places. Thanks! As he kind of pockets the coinage. Rudger says, it ain't an easy to be out there, when you're clearly outmatched by everybody else. As he pockets his own money. Calliope says, never do that again. And then she pockets the money. What's it called? Steros looks around at the ship. You see everybody in the crew stares at him. And obviously they had a hard time pulling the fucking boat where he was at, like, onto the ship, because they needed, like, basically the entire crew to pull his ass onto the ship. But once they did, they look at him. For a Cyclops, he's not as tall as Polyphorus was. He's, like, surprisingly short for a Cyclops. Which, for those of you who have met Cyclo... What is the plural of Cyclops? Cyclopi? What's it called? For those of you who have made various Cyclops before, you know that they can be roughly from like 12 to 15 feet tall, somewhere in that margin, whereas Steros is only 10. What's it called? You see as the crew stares at him, he seems to kind of flick between the monocles of his mechanical like goggles, and he says, "A very large ship. I suppose there could be enough size to sustain one of my size. Enough space, rather. I don't suppose you have a forge with you on board, do you?"
No, unfortunately not.
Install that, sorry. Of everything else, we could install Forge in here. All that money.
He kind of thinks for a moment and says, "I see I have my hands cut out. I see I had my hands full with all of this. Whatever. I do have enough tools that should suffice to maintain, maintenance in the equipment that is around here. Just don't expect me to do anything too crazy without access to proper resources yet."
Put your hand away.
In the meantime, I will get situated somewhere else. He kind of passes by. It's about to pass by Pythor and Kyra before he turns around and and says, "Oh, right. An honor. I used to work for the person who wants you dead. Um, but your vassals, allies, Pythor kind of corrects him and says, "Yes, my allies, the friends of my children, and my children too." Sarah says, "Right, all of them. They can vouch for me. I will be not a nuisance to you or to anybody else in this vessel. Now, if you'll excuse me." As he then begins to walk over to below decks. Pythor stares at you guys as he passes by and says, "Are you sure you can trust this one?"
No, but I can take him if we can't.
What's the call? Pythor looks at the rest of you, like almost as we're trying to gauge like what the responses is going to be.
I just say I like him.
It sounds like me trying to talk. Pythor says, "Well, I'll trust your judgment on this one, but one step out of line and, well, we'll have to take measures against him."
I agree. And speaking of talking, I need to have a conversation eventually with you and Versi and Kyra.
You hear as the fucking Kyra just walks fast as hell over here and says, "I heard my name."
I just like kind of take back, like, you know, move back a little, like, whoa, because I have not ever seen her do that. I say, yes. Do you know where Versi is?
She should be downstairs, watching menacingly as Derek arrived on the ship.
I need to have a conversation with the three of you about something called the Titan's Bane.
I know this one. Can I tell it? Kind of looks at Pythor, and Pythor's like, "Go ahead." And Kyra is like, "Right, Titan's Bane. Legendary weapon, supposedly crafted by one of the ancient original Titans that ruled the land alongside Sidon and Lutheria before they were all betrayed. It is said this weapon was created with the purpose of slaying, well, his siblings. It was supposedly lost, but rumor has it, as people tend to speak, that it was actually been passed down as a gift to rulers, monarchs, leaders of various important places." Pythor at this point speaks up and says, "Before you ask, no, I'd never have hurled the weapon. It was never passed down through the rulership of Astoria. Or Mitros, for that matter, I believe."
I kind of look a little disappointed, and I say, I had a battle with a giant named Polyphorus. He was a follower of Sidon, but he seemed honorable enough, and he told me about the weapon, and he said that it could defeat Sidon if I could find it, which led me to believe that, you know, he knows of it, that is still floating around somewhere. I was hoping you guys might know where we could possibly look for it.
Kara and Pythor seem to think for a couple of seconds, and then you hear a set of, light-footed footsteps come up from the side as you see Versi, make her way over here. She says in her usual sort of like calm tone of voice, "It is very possible that the weapon you seek might just be closer to us than we initially think. Not in this island."
I kind of like give her tilt my head at her and, like, "Oh yeah?"
I have it in good reason that my father once sought to make his way with the weapon and dispose of it, but he was not able to. Instead, he thought that it would be better if he was to forget about it. Much like Kyra, I've heard that it has been passed down through the hands of various influential people. But I believe I may have an idea as to where it might be currently at. At least one of 3 possible locations.
Okay.
Tell us, woman, says Porunga.
Yeah, like-
Versi looks at you, Porunga,
Wait a
like,
minute.
don't talk to me like that ever again. And
I'm just like looking at her like okay, and they could be.
well, the first one, and the most likely one, is that it lies under the constant watchful, foul eyes of the Fates. Ancient casters that have been around Tylea since time immemorial. They have a knack for collecting all sorts of things, including souls. If the weapon lies with them, then it'll be a treacherous thing to convince them to part with it.
Okay.
What's it called?
And
Go ahead.
I was saying the less likely locations.
Actually, all of these locations are equally as likely. The other location could potentially be in, well, the Garden of Helios. Pythor kinda huffs as she says that, as if she just said like something really stupid in front of his presence. She says, "Really? You believe it could be so, Oracle?" Versi kinda looks at Pythor and nods. Pythor looks back at you guys and says, "Helios is a so-called minor deity of Tylea that is said to be as resplendent as the sun itself. His, shall we say, place of dwelling is an island in the Forgotten Sea."
Oh. You don't happen to know which one, do you?
Perhaps if we take a look at the Antikythera device, we might be able to find it.
Okay. I believe Xandri is indisposed at the moment, but I will have that conversation with her when we can.
What's it called?
Because doesn't she have it, or does? I thought Xandri had it, or who has the Antikythera?
Xandri had it.
She does have it. Yeah, I thought she had it. So we'll have to wait till she gets back for that part. In the third location.
What's it called? She, Versi kind of looks back at you and says, "It could be a stretch, but it is said that rulership of the island of Themis is, well, assigned when a particular family relic is passed down to the next one in line. I'm not privy to what this relic is, but it could be a lead."
I appreciate you for the information. And there's one more person I need to ask, and I'm kind of hoping he's. I say this like kind of loudly. I hope he's standing around here listening to us. Chandris.
10
And
seconds.
I wait for a response.
1 second passes. 2 seconds pass. You would see as you would see as Pythor kinda looks around and realizes Chandra's not here, and he right away doesn't like that, and then looks over at Quinn, the other one of the shipwreck sailors you guys rescued, and says, "You go fetch a tiefling." And Quinn kind of like points like, "Me?" Pythor is like, "At once, boy." As Quinn As Quinn just kind of like, "Oh, all right," as he goes over to downstairs. Couple of seconds pass, and then the Queen comes back, not just with Chandra's in tow, but with Moxia alongside him. What's it called? Chandra's kind of adjusts like the collar of his his robe's collar and says,
Huh?
I
They
heard
do.
that you were looking for me. It wasn't like he was getting dressed, more so like, just like the classic, it's gonna stuffy here. Let me readjust the color type of like motion. Says, I heard you call for me.
Yes, I was hoping, as your previous engagements with Sidon and Gaius, did they ever mention anything about them possibly looking for this weapon called the Titan's Bane?
Now that you mention it, I seem to recall some form of name close to that.
And okay, and it was, or
He looks at you and says, you want the full story. Right.
preferably.
Well, while I've never seen or laid eyes on the weapon, I've read plenty of records regarding it in the library of the island of Yonder. The weapon is real, that much I can guarantee you. However, it has been constantly on the move ever since the First War. The latest holder of the weapon was, well, the ancient Queen of the Amazons. At least that's as far as records date back. I'm
Well,
talking
that's great information.
and I'm talking about a couple of 100 years ago.
Okay. And did you know anything about this? Shoot, what was the name of that weapon that we just? I can't remember what it was called.
Titans, or which one?
Swing?
No, the staff that we.
Staff of Thunder
Staff
Lightning?
of Lightning.
Yeah. Did you know about the Jankor, the Lizardman, having this staff of lightning?
Not particularly, no. I don't bother learning of what trinkets Sidon gives his servants.
I assume that we can safely assume we're going to come across more of these in the future.
If that's the case, then I suppose you found yourself a particularly valuable source of potential power-ups, so to speak. Moxie at this point speaks up and says, I can confirm the stories about Titan's Bane being present in Themis. In case you may have forgotten, I was an Amazon.
I don't think she ever told me that out of game.
She told the rest of the party, but they never
Right.
told you.
Right. Well, I look at her and I say, "Well, that's interesting." Some of my party members neglected to tell me that, and I kind of side eye the people who are standing with us. Or I would have came to you and asked you instead. So, how long ago was the last time you saw the weapon?
Very recently. Around... Well, recently compared to all the other information you're getting. It was long ago, back when I still used to live in the island with my sisters. I will touch that subject in another day, but suffice it to say that I have it within good reason that at least one of my sisters once held the weapon. Whether they decided to use it or not, or dispose of it, I believe it is most likely that they've attempted to dispose of the weapon rather than use it. You see, my sisters, they weren't the particularly greatest fans of the Five. In fact, dare I even say their allegiance lied more with Lutheria than anyone else. They probably still are very loyal to her to this day. And if there was a weapon that was capable of slaying the Titans, they probably wouldn't have let anybody get their hands on it.
Well, I hope you're ready for a family reunion because we might be heading to Thamus next.
Ah, finally? Then I guess my role in this ship is about to come to fruition. You see, I originally tagged along with all of you because I made a agreement with the rest of your allies that I would be of some use when if they attempted to explore the island of Themis.
Oh, well, that's good to know as well. Again, my party hasn't been very forthcoming with information about you and your journey with us, other than what you've previously told me. So I'm a little in the dark on all that, but I'm glad to have you here and helping us.
Well, did they also told you that I'm responsible for the disappearance of one of your allies' relatives?
They did not, but that sounds like a them problem.
Well,
It's correct.
color me surprised. It seems that your friends have told you, well, rather not told you a lot of things.
That is 100% accurate.
She looks over at the rest of you guys. Like, it's kind of hard to tell because she has the hood on, but you can tell that she's kind of smirking underneath the hood.
Yeah, you doing your business.
And I'm like, they're not very talkative. I've just kind of been a side note to them for the past, month, 2 months that we've been running around the world.
Right. What's it called? When you're saying I've been kind of a side note, Chandra's does kind of like chuckle a little bit. What's it called? Kyra at this point speaks up again and says, "Oh, I assure you, you'll won't be just a side note in the stories that I'm going to be telling about all of this. Like, the stunt you pulled back at the Coliseum upon we first meeting you, or how you defeated that Cyclops in single combat. All of those were pretty impressive."
Well, the Cyclops was definitely more challenging than Maxi Boy at the Coliseum, and he was a much better, more honorable fighter as well.
She kind of nods along and says, "Well, and here's just hoping that the rest of your journey is filled with this type of incredible, shall we say, moments." She looks at the rest of you guys and says, "And that egg has to go below deck with the other one."
I'm assuming she's talking to Derek.
Yes.
Hopefully he didn't fall asleep.
And that is one negative inspiration. What's it called? I'll grab it
Derek?
from Derek and bring it downstairs. As you're about to take the egg downstairs, Drakgar, Kyra says, "Be sure to handle it with care. It may be a dragon's egg, but still an egg nonetheless. Don't roughhouse it too much."
If you do drop it, we can have some scrambled eggs in the morning. I say jokingly.
Pythor looks at you like that wasn't funny. Not funny, didn't laugh. What's it called?
Like tough crowd.
Chandras looks at you and says, "You'll get the hang of it eventually, pretty boy." What's it called? At this point, Versi looks at you guys and says, "Now, what will be our next destination?" I'll say Exandri will, is at the ready with the Antikythera device while she's doing her business.
Yeah. I believe we're going to move toward the island of Themis, and there's Derek.
I'm sorry, my
him.
dogs were eating my cat's food. I was trying to shoo them away. They ate my cat's food.
So, is
They
that
won't want me.
I'll ask the party as a whole. Is that the moves? Are you guys going to the island of Themis?
Yeah,
next?
we're going to go to the island of Themis next.
Yep. Yes, yeah.
Very well. In
Yeah,
that case,
I agree.
let me mark
have my
this. Let me mark this in the journal. There we go. That's another line crossing to the to the island of Themis.
We're gonna make a start. We're gonna make a start this point at this rate.
What's it called? You grab the indicator device, turn the gears, and eventually they produce the projection, above you guys of the constellations. You begin to look around and select the constellation of the twins, as it appears to be the one that will lead you to the island of Themis. Upon selecting it, Kyra looks at you guys and says, "Now, I know we've been doing this for a while now, but, if you want, I could tell you the story of that constellation."
Alright, I'm back.
I would love to hear the story of the
She's
constellation.
Yes,
Uh,
I'll as I sit with the egg. Yes, tell me and the egg the story.
The egg, she said, had to go downstairs, but you missed it because you were dealing with dogs and cats.
Yes,
I
it's
stole it from
fine.
you.
I'm still here with it. It's fine.
What's it called? She says, "Okay." She kind of begins to walk around the sort of projection of the constellation. Once again, I'll show the player's map to the stars of, so you guys can see. She looks at the constellation of the twins, which is the one that points towards, towards the island of Themis. She says, "So, obviously, as stories tend to go, the origin of these constellations tend to change depending on who's telling the story. But in recent memory, those two big stars in the sky right there, those represent the twins. More specifically, they are named after Sidon and Lutheria. One day, after Thylea gave her life to create the continent, from the tree that sprouted from the point of origin, a great number of fruits appeared. Some say that it was 7, some say it was 8, some say it was 6. I think the most commonly agreed upon number is 7. As these fruits appear from the golden tree of Thylea, Kentimane, the 100-handed one, reached from the ocean and began to remove the fruit from the tree. It's not clear if he attempted to eat it, but whatever the case may have been, these fruits carried with them spike-covered pits of sorts. As Kentimane removed the fruits from the tree and placed them down, something happened. From the pits, beings started appearing. Or, well, to be more precise, life in its raw, purest form began to bloom. Kentimane, realizing this, was reminded of the heartbreak he felt when Thylea sacrificed her life to create the continent. And, in his anger, smashed the earth apart, creating, well, presumably, barriers of the islands we see now around us. As his blood mixed in with what remained of the fruit of the golden tree, now that raw aspect of life was given form. From the thorny pits spawned the children of Kentimane and Thylea, fully formed already. But from one of these pits, 2 children sprang forth. Sidon and Lutheria. Though they were the youngest of Kentimane's children, well, as you already know the story, they would eventually overpower the rest of their siblings in an attempt to conquer all of Thylea due to their loss of power. So, the 2 stars in the sky serve as a reminder that their ever-watchful presence is looming over us at all times. A bit dour, but you should probably look at it this way. It's a reminder that they now have to pay attention to what you all do. That they should fear you.
That's good, man.
That's
That's good.
basically it. She kind of takes a step back.
I look at them all one more time. And I go, you know what? I have one more question.
Oh my god.
If all of you guys knew about this Titan's Bane weapon that could possibly kill a Titan, why did none of you guys tell us about it?
Pythor
Why did
looks
I
at
have to
you-
learn about it from a giant?
Pythor looks at you and says, "Because we thought for sure that the weapon has been lost to the ages. You have to understand, it was a weapon forged by the original, one of the original Titans, one of Sidon's and Lutheria's own siblings. We tried to get our hands on it during the First War, but Sidon and Lutheria were crafty. They managed to keep it away from us at all times. As far as I understood, the weapon was either lost or sealed away in some of the deepest vaults of the Tower of Praxis. I wasn't going to send you. I wasn't going to send you into a suicide mission for a treasure that might not be there."
Is there any way I can check him on that just to make sure, like, see if he's possibly lying to me?
You can try an insight check.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, you believe he's been like on the level. You believe he's been on the level with you. It seems like yes, he did know and didn't tell you, but when he says, "Yeah, I wasn't going to send you in like a mission that was no guarantee you'll find the item that if it was there at all," he seems to be legitimate about it.
Okay. I look at him and say, okay, fair enough. Well, I guess now that we have a lead, though, we should probably look into this weapon that could really help us. By the way, do you know what type of weapon it is? I know it's a physical, but is it like a greatsword? Is it what is it?
Moxia raises her hand and says, "Well, it didn't look as big as a greatsword when I first saw my sister hold it. It looks more akin to a longsword, perhaps."
Okay,
It's too tame.
that's good information. Thank you, Moxina. Or Moxia? Moxia?
Wait, so Moxia's sister has it?
Yeah.
As far as she's aware, one of her sisters was the last one to hold it.
So there's a
Shut
possibility that
ideas.
Titan's
we have
Bane
a
may be at famous.
Spider web of quest.
I know
All
I have
roads
my
lead
egg,
to
that's what
famous.
matters. Oh, actually, all roads lead to Drakgar's mom, since we haven't asked Moxina where the hell she is.
She has
Like,
told you.
at
Oh my
all?
god.
She has told you where she is. She's in an island in the Forgotten Sea that is under the rule of Hexia.
Yeah, there you go, Derek.
Haven't we gone there at all?
You
Obviously not.
You have access to the Forgotten Sea with the piece of the Indicator device that you collected. You're able to navigate there. If you wish to go right away, that's up to you.
Okay.
Sounds like we shouldn't. Just remember,
Grabbing
Got her
flags
ass
in the first island.
her
Yeah,
ass beat on that
got it.
first island.
yeah.
All I'm just saying is, I'm surprised Drakgar's not saying, "I want my mommy." That's all I'm saying.
Bro, we've been trying to work our way up to there. We're not strong enough yet. We've literally been told we're not strong enough.
Wow, feels bad, Drakgar. Your mom's in the
Well,
take a little bit more longer. She's not.
I look at the group I gathered and I tell them I appreciate their time and information.
Even
And then
mine.
I want.
Says Chandra.
He said, "Unfortunately, yes, you've been helpful, and I appreciate you being helpful."
Well, it's nice being appreciated.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't know anything about that because my party apparently tells me nothing. So.
Oh shit! Nice talking
Excuse
shit to us.
me.
Wow.
Since the moment
Wow.
you joined our party, we've been non-stop go. We don't have time to stop for story time.
Yes, sir. Talking mad shit to us guys. See, and you think I'm a bad guy, huh?
It's
You
not
actually bad
our
mouth
fault that Versailles didn't introduce you to our party until we were ready to leave Nitros, my guy. You have a
Actually,
whole
it was
month to
before
catch
the
up on.
Olympics. Actually, before the Olympics. Actually.
But anyway, I digress. The only thing I have left to do is go talk to Steros.
You would find him in the lower decks as he's trying to set up a work area. but much to the dismay of many of the other ship's inhabitants. As you catch him in a bit of an argument with the rest of the crew of like what space belongs to who, and who called dibs first.
My dibs.
I walk in. I say, "Hey guys, what's going on here?"
You see like you see like 4 sailors, kind of like stand in front of Steros, and they kind of go like, "This one claims that this one thinks he can just lay claim to all of our equipment, saying because he's now in charge of maintenance." They kind of use like air quotes. Steros looks around and says, "Well, I mean, someone has to. Look at all this garbage that you are given.
That's true.
I can try fix it, but I can't do miracles, and I certainly can't work if you're still here pestering me."
I look at the other two and I say, "Well, can you do maintenance?"
One of them says, "Well, I mean, as much as the next guy."
As much as a guy with 10 fingers on each hand.
What's it called? Steros kind of puts like his hands up and does like a finger wiggle of, and then what's it called? The other guys look back at you. The other sailors look back at you, and one of them says, "So you're saying we should just trust him after he just walked in like he owned the place?"
I didn't say you have to trust him, but until he gives me a reason not to trust him, I do.
"Don't worry, your equipment is in good hands." See, again, twirls his mustache. The guys look back at the sailors look back at you, but it's like, what?
It's on him. It's on him. Just say it's on him. Just.
I look back at him and I say, "Just don't do anything crazy to our ship, please."
You're in luck. This ship appears to be made of some form of enchanted wood. It would be very difficult to destroy it unless there was a force of great magnitude that struck at it.
Well, that's good to know. But I actually came here down to talk to you, and I kind of shoo the other guys away.
They just kind of shrug. One of them throws his hand in the air like, whatever. The other, like that fourth one, just kind of, after the other 3 are kind of like, walking off, he just kind of reaches into his backpack and pulls out like this set of like leather armor. He just tosses, he places on the ground like, if you can fix it, that'll be pretty cool. And then he just like walks away. Steros looks back at you and says, "People these days."
I'm like, "Yeah, I get it, man. I feel you." I was like, "Hey, I actually had a question. I know that you can't work with metal without a forge, but could you work on possibly bone, dragon bone?"
"Perhaps. I have some carving implements."
What if I said I have acquired a chimera dragon head and I would like to have it turned into a form of a helmet? It doesn't have to have any defensive capabilities. It could be purely ornamental. I just really would like it to be turned into a helmet as a trophy of sorts.
Seems easy enough. I suppose I could. Are you sure you don't want some form of magical effect on it? Ooh, maybe
I mean,
a
I would
curse.
love, wait, a curse?
Oops, you.
Who said that?
I've dealt with those before.
He just kind of like goes like, "What? Who said that?"
Unfortunately, I already have a curse. I don't know that having 2 would probably help my case.
Wait, so if he made that a helmet, you'd get another curse?
Is that what he's implying, or?
You don't know what he's implying.
Oh. Well, I was like, well, if it can have positive magical capabilities, that would be great. But I'm already kind of inflicted with the curse. I really don't need another one.
Stack of bro,
You mean
no balls.
Can't you even check your curse? I don't think you can check your curse in forever. Have you killed anything yet?
I will point out, what's it called? You have been constantly on the move. It is over the course of this last day because you've been in the island. You haven't really been standing too close, so you haven't really given the curse the time to to really settle in. What's it called? But that might not remain the case forever.
Oh God.
What's it called? The Steros kind of thinks for a moment and says, I can put a minor enchantment on it. Perhaps something to make you look more intimidating.
That would be fantastic, because I'm always willing to intimidate people.
So you are. Right. In that case, leave the head here with me. I'll take care of all the nasty bits and carve out the bone into something more suitable for your tiny little human head.
Well, I appreciate it, and as you know, a payment of sorts. If you have any more trouble with those guys wanting their space back, you just let me know.
He kind of nods along and says, "Oh, don't worry. I can take care of myself."
Would have killed. You would have murked you guys.
And I just kind of give him like the like finger eyeball, like I'm watching you, you know, kind of jokingly gesture.
What's it called? He nods and just kind of like begins to reach into his gigantic fucking backpack and pulls out like a various sets of like carving implements. With his 10-fingered hands begins to very deftly maneuver around the to remove flesh from bone from the dragon head.
And then that's, I guess, all I need. He's got the dragon head, and I'm gonna, I guess, retire.
He retires from adventuring. GG's. Roll
No,
up
no.
another character.
Retire for the night to my room.
Okay. Does anybody else do anything before departing to
I
the
do.
next location? All right, go ahead. Yes,
Wait, are we still on the island?
Yes, the party.
We're gone.
Was
Okay.
very slow. Well, no, you're not in the island, but you are like about to set sail the fire island.
I stop everybody from leaving really quick, and like I disappear by myself, and I go all the way back to Vita.
Oh my,
But I'll fly as fast as I can, and I'll use
oh
expedition
my god.
retreat as well.
Okay, sure. You take
Oh
time
my
out of the day
God.
to just be like, yeah, I'll be back, and fly away. How was
Okay,
your-
and then out a game. We brought the dragon on the ship, correct?
The dragon,
Nobody
no.
said anything.
The dragon went with the
Was it-
people that were taken to the top of the thing.
Didn't I?
The
Sorry,
dragon
second.
was with our not stowaways, people that we saved from the ship. So
If
what
you would have
happened
ins-
to the dragon
if-
once we got back to?
If you would have instructed them to carry it, they would. But I'm just pointing out that I didn't hear anybody say anything like that. What's it called? Like, is that what you would have asked them to do?
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, as a prisoner of war, the Dengren, Rudger, and Heliope would have carried the body of, well, the unconscious body of the bronze dragon. Actually, is it bronze? Let me double check.
It was
Brass
it
or
was
bra-
bronze. It was
I'm
brass.
pretty
No,
sure
it
you
was brass.
said bronze or brass.
I think it was brass.
One of the bees.
Okay, now you guys are confusing me. What's it called?
It was silver.
It was a gold dragon.
It was
Right,
gold, but it was
gold.
bronze or
It's gold, I
brass.
swear.
It was a
It
bee
was on it.
metal.
It is a
It was
brass. It was a brass dragon wormling.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it was. What's it called? Yes, they would carry the brass dragon wormling back to the ship, where they are very quick to have, with the assistance of the crew, the means to restrain the creature should it wake up anytime soon.
Well, I've
Go
got my little wings to get back to Queen Vita as quick as possible.
Okay, you fly all the way to Queen Vita. Not gonna move you all the way back to the map, but what do you do?
One, I forgot to give her the bandages. So I quickly fly back to give
Oh
her
my
the
God.
bandages, the payment for my Wizzy Lizzie's farting.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, because they were on the ship, so I forgot about that. And 2, I will ask her what information she needed to relate to us before we went to Dreamscape. That she stated that her party informed her of some information, and due to the dream, forgot to go back and touch base.
She would say, this you're having this conversation a bit private away from the royal guards and the shamans. She would say, I was informed by the 2 remaining survivors that were captured once they made their way back to the village that, well, some unfortunate events took place. One of them lost their life in their escape attempt, and the rest were strong-armed into relinquishing a potential tribute for for Calcia.
Oopsies.
So, who? Oh, wait, so an extra one died? So 2 died?
No, she just said that they suffered a casualty. When during their escape, which was the one, presumably the one that died. And that they were also strong armed into relinquishing what they initially wanted to be tribute for Calcia.
Do I know about the chest to be tribute to Calcia?
Did your team tell you?
Oopsies. The team.
No.
I do.
Because Drak took it to, so I don't know about that. I do apologize about the loss of your family member. They're all her family, right?
Not really, no. They're her subjects.
Of your subject.
What wait? Are you talking about the one that I picked up?
The one you said, give me the chest.
You
You're not.
Yeah, no.
Chest,
we
remember?
opened it right there with her standing there.
I was not there.
Where were you?
I was bitch slapping Derek.
Oh.
Down the hallway, remember?
Well, but I've already handed you, before you left the ship, I gave you all the stuff we collected. So you already have all the stuff out of the chest.
But I don't know this.
You what?
I don't know the story of how you got it.
Oh, well. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we were too busy with the giant cyclops thing.
Right.
Don't kill me, I swear.
So
I did nothing wrong, I swear.
I apologize for the fallen comrade. We have a party member who, let's just say, we've recently been thinking about a consequence for him. For his actions don't necessarily line up with the parties who are confused as to what side he sometimes is on, and action will be taken accordingly. As for the sacrifice, I am unquite sure what that is. I do apologize. I did not oversee everything that happened in the cave. But I can tell you, a very great sacrifice was given to Calcia. Whether it may or may not be the sacrifice that you guys are talking about, I am unsure. But with this great sacrifice was how Calcia spoke and manifested her image within my mind while we conversed. She was very pleased with the sacrifice.
You misunderstand. I do not bring up this subject because I wish to condemn you or yours. Oh, hold on. I think my audio died. Hello?
No, I can hear you.
Oh, no, there we go. Says, I do not bring this up so I can condemn you or yours. The actions for the benefit of my people far outweigh what unfortunate circumstances may have transpired.
Now, let's go.
It is just a thing to note that should a situation similar to this be arising in the future. Well, that
No,
your
I
threats-
greatly appreciate the information.
What do you say?
I told her I greatly appreciate the information.
Okay. Now, you may return to your people and let them know that, well, they have an ally in us, and soon in the rest of the tribes of the island.
I will touch base with you from time to check on you. It'll be a magical connection where you could say a very small sentence. I wish you the luck, and then I'll bow and fly away.
She nods, and, well, you return to your people. What's it called?
I grab a coconut off a tree as I fly by.
What's it called? It's a big one. Probably
Is it a big
probably
coconut?
very juicy.
Right.
Probably very juicy. What's it
I come
called?
back with a coconut. You left for a coconut? Yes, I did. I left for a coconut.
What's it called? All right. Oh yes. You wanted to sending message to people in Astoria and in Mitros.
Sure. I
Send
will
one.
go back down to my den, and I will use my sending stone.
You're sending stone.
My sending stone. I'm gonna talk to my hubby, my fiance.
You call upon Asula Nerdagon, and what do you ask him?
Asula, my love, are you there?
I am. Looks like the magic of this stones truly hold up. What do you require of me? Dear?
It's been such a long time, and it is quite the task, if I may ask of you.
Just name it, and I shall do what's in my power to complete it.
I need you to form a group of some very trustworthy allies. I need to know all of the locations in Mitros and the surrounding lands of where the locations of all the Pythor statues may be.
Just of Lord Pythor, not of the rest of the 5.
Just of Lord Pythor. I think it's about time I start pissing off.
Very well. In that case, that's quite the movement of resources dedicated to this task, but I shall get to it. It may take me a couple of days, but I shall see to it that there are some people who may be up to the task.
Please only worry about the surrounding areas of Mitros. I plan on contacting my sister for the same reason for Astoria. I may be able to ask Moxie if she has any allies in Mitros that may be able to assist you. But Pythor is taking much. Keeps gambling with people's lives. I think it's about time we start.
So, just for clarification, you are in meaning to say Pythor, right?
What? Sidearm. I don't mean to say
Hold
Pythor.
on.
I mean to say Sidearm. Sorry.
Because you
Wow, you
throughout
took-
all
Oh,
of
wow.
this, throughout
Oh
all of
my
this,
God.
you've been
Look
saying
at it.
Pythor. Throughout all
Oh,
of
I
yeah,
was
this,
we
you've
can
wondering,
been
I was
say
like,
Siren.
why is she trying to piss off Pythor?
Fuck my dad,
Well,
bro.
you-
No. I meant to say Sidearm.
What do
Sorry.
you do?
Sidearm. It's because I was looking at my screen and it says Pythor on my screen, so I was saying Pythor nonstop, but I meant Sidearm.
Wow, she
Okay.
kissing phone down on purpose for no reason.
So, alright, so that's what you meant. Alright. So he'll say, I dare say most of the statues may be within his temple in the city, but we shall search the surrounding areas as well. In that case,
Please search the surrounding areas. I feel like he has hidden statues. possibly placed throughout the land. And I think it's time we take them down.
Alright. That step is not one that many would willingly engage in, but I shall see if I can find people who may be bold enough to do that. I will contact you again, my dear, when the time is right.
I will give him the name of Mateus and Yuno for contact.
Ah, right. Yes, of course.
Make them do something.
Your friends.
Make them do something.
He says, I shall keep them into consideration if they are to assist.
Other than that, how are you? Everybody
Well,
holding up in my truce well?
As far as I can tell, things are looking very normal here. There have been far more sightings of the King's Dragonlords, or so-called Dragonlords, flying around the city. Almost as if they're keeping a constant vigilant eye over the city, far more than usual. Queen
Just be
Valus-
careful.
Go ahead.
I told him to be careful.
Right. Well, Queen Valus herself sends her regards. Apparently she found out about the engagement. And, well, I got to talk to her. Father did as well. He was quite shocked.
Wait, whose? What?
She's like,
His father
engagement.
was... his father, he said that Queen Valus heard of the engagement and, you know, that she actually got his father, Tyron, used to, got to meet Queen Valus because of this.
Oh.
your family now. Remember that. Now your family.
No. All right.
But she's like, oh, thank God he's not getting near me anymore. Thank God.
Thank you, Zula, for doing this. It means a lot.
Well, it means a lot to me that you keep me dear and close to your heart, my dear. If
I'll try to
possible-
check in.
Very well. Oh, I have been made aware through a messenger of sorts that Lord Vulcan is sending regular transportations to you, wherever it is that you may be. If it's possible, one of these days I shall send a gift of sorts alongside one of those transportations.
I wait for your gift. It will definitely put a smile on my face. And I do apologize for making this a brief call, Zula. I do need to get a hold of my sister before.
He says, do not worry. Just hearing your voice is enough to brighten my day.
Sweet dreams, my love. And then I'll end the message and go to my sister.
Ring the next phone on the line.
It'll be. I haven't heard my sister's name in a long time. I actually kind of forget it. Start with an.
The tradition.
Wait, what do you say there?
What was my sister's name again?
Anora.
Nora. Okay, it did start with an A.
There you go. Do you have a sending stone with her, or do you?
No,
only
I'm
have the
gonna
sending
use.
stone?
I'm using Cindy with her.
Okay. What is the message?
Hold on, Cassie is doing math in her head.
Counting up to the words.
I really am. Okay. Honora, please help destroy all of Sidon's statues. Do this secretly. Please be safe and know that we love you. Sandra.
You get a message after sending your that will be I think there might be none left, thanks to Father, around here. But I shall look
Destroy them
into
all.
it anyway.
Okay.
Then I can't reply, but I hope she feels.
Alright. With that, sending sent. You know, I guess it should be expected in Astoria, Pytho's kingdom, there might not be statues of Siren left standing. But, you know, she'll try her best to get rid of any if they do arise. What's it called? With that being said, you guys, anybody else does anything before setting off in the journey?
After all that, I walk in. Hey, yo, what's up? And I rolling with my egg into her room. I'm here for a little play with our eggs.
Didn't I take your egg from you a while ago?
No, you didn't. You're not touching my egg.
Mhm.
I
You're not touching my eggs here.
glare at him for just barging into my room. And I want to note that my right hand is still black, up to like right above my wrist,
Oh.
like both my, and like it's been black since we left the volcano. And I'm like very pissed off that he just barged into my room without knocking.
I was What do you mean? I was waiting calmly after your calls. What are you talking about? I was being nice.
Still didn't knock.
Well, doesn't matter. I have the egg. You have your egg. We'll be nice, okay? These eggs are not our faults, okay? We just gotta bring them into this world and let them be nice to each other, okay? I just want to show them off, okay? I am not doing nothing horrible. I just want to know that these two eggs will be together as friends, not as, as the parents, okay? Affection of the parents, okay? They'll be their own things. I'm just showing them off, okay? Hey, Egg, look at that. Look, Egg, another one. Another one. It's one of your friends. One of our friends.
I entertained him for a split second, so just to get him this done and over with, so he.
I sit down for a bit, but like, come on, look at the egg. Come on. Take it. Any interaction, DM? Anything? I'm just stupid.
Like, so hold on, just so I got this straight. Are you trying to prompt Exandric to touch the brass egg that you have?
I think he's
Yes,
trying to show
as well.
his egg to my egg. That's
Your friends. Gonna be friends.
They're, like, propped up around Lizzie, and my egg.
Yes,
I'll
I'm just
walk
showing off the
over,
egg.
and I'll use my channel divinity to gain back a spell slot. Wait, I might not need to. I might just be able to cast it. Sec. Might be.
We all got our spell slots back. The DM said
Although
at the end
you
of
you haven't taken a long rest yet, but what's it called?
Sorta, kinda. I think it's, I don't know. I'm just showing them off. That is all. I'm not doing nothing heinous here. I'm
Wait,
just
I
trying
might
to
be
do
able
what's
to
right.
cast. If I
What
can
are
find
you-
it.
Yeah, what are you trying to cast?
Clairvoyant, but I can't remember. Nope.
I-
Okay, yeah. So I use my channel divinity to gain back a spell slot,
Okay.
and then I will go up to eggs and put my face up to them, and I'm going to cast clairvoyant. So the eggs can like touch each other, and as they touch each other, I will watch and sing a song to them as the eggs rest.
And I will play music as well. Okay. What that performance? Another net 20? Yeah. Oh.
I mean, you can play music if you wish, and I guess that would be performance. But Exandric, you put clairvoyance in the chat.
Yeah, it's a mid song. It's 13. Not one of my best ones, but it's good.
Exandric?
Sorry,
13 is fine.
it's laggy.
I rolled 13. It's okay. I use my flute. I am proficient. That gives me advantage.
All right. Should be popping up in a second.
Is this the one? Yes. Place an obvious location familiar to you. So how are you trying to use this this spell?
Vision.
You're
Because
trying-
they should be able to hear, so I just visual.
You begin missiles within a range of location provided as seen before. An lowest location is unfamiliar to you behind the door. It remains duration can be attacked or otherwise interacted with when used. Okay. Where are you placing this divination sensor?
Like on the side where the are touching.
But hold on, you're breaking up. Where?
Where the 2 eggs are touching.
Okay, yeah. What's it called?
So it's kind of like a window. Right? So it's like a little window. So like where the 2 eggs are touching, there's like a window. So you peek into the egg.
I don't believe that's how the spell works. What's it called? The way the spell works is that you create a sensor that you can see through.
Yeah. Only I will be seeing, of course. Not for Derek.
Okay. So are you trying to place the sensor right in between the 2 eggs?
Yes, because I want to be able to look at both of the eggs as them.
Okay.
So it'll just be my eyes looking.
Alright, so you place the divination sensor right there next to the eggs.
To Derek, he watches me just make a window, like a square with my fingers, and nothing happens. And then I'm like cocking my head back and forth as I'm singing, looking around inside the egg.
Yo! Don't touch. Don't run to my egg. It's precious.
Hold on, I'm reading the fucking thing, because I'm trying to see if that's possible. A place you have visited or seen before. You know what? I'll say you can do this. What's it called? You place a divination sensor inside the effectively clipping it, I guess, through the eggs. Sure enough, there are some still forming dragons inside these eggs.
Eggs are egging. Got it.
Like, ordinarily this is not how the spell is supposed to work, but I'm giving it to you this once. What's it called? Because, it's supposed to be placed in a place you've seen before. I don't think you've seen inside the just yet, but, I'm giving it to you this once. You play, so you're able to see the brass and the bronze dragons, being formed. What's it called? They don't look like they're fully ready to hatch, though there is clear movement. There is clear indication that they are both alive. The bronze one looks a little bit like, well, actually, they both kind of look still kind of in like a stasis of sorts. Though there is signs of like breathing. There's like slight twitches that they do while inside the egg. You can tell they're still not fully ready to hatch yet because they're. You could swear like somewhere around the tail area, towards like the back end of the tail, there's like scales that haven't fully formed yet.
They're almost done. They're medium rare.
Can I tell what the sexes are going to be of the dragon?
I don't think you have that type of knowledge to know that.
Calm down there. Calm down.
So no, I'll say you can't. You won't have that type of knowledge.
Can I do it? Can I do a nature or a history check?
I'm sorry, I can't allow you to do that because there's no, there's only two dragons Alexander's ever seen in her life. I don't think you'll be able to tell.
Yeah, but I've read books. I've read.
I'm
You
sorry,
read
but I don't
history
think
books.
you would have that type of experience or knowledge to know that. Like especially
Porunga, how do you know when a dragon's a male?
like especially
Porunga, yeah,
uh,
Porunga.
like especially because they're still like inside the egg, so it's probably very difficult to tell even with the divination sensor. What's the call? Like yeah,
My
sorry.
sonogram's not working, guys.
Your sonogram works. So sad.
Alright. Well, afterwards I will just step back and be like, they're still growing. They have some time to go. They're still missing quite a few of their scales. Along their backside and down their they're just right now. You may take your egg now.
Alright. Hi, Egg. Say goodbye. We'll be back another time. Just say hi again. Alright. Yeah, it takes forever for me to pick it up because it's heavy as...
You hear the
heavy as
voice
frick.
as a whisper in the back of your mind, Derek. Keep the egg incubated, says Kyra. Like, don't just move it around like it's a toy. Like,
I know where I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna keep them in the room. I'll have a I'm look for extra hay. I'll make sure like a box around it. I'll make its own little like thing like how it has in the crate. I'm gonna do it with the boxes and some hay. Make sure it's warm around there. But all my blankets there. I'll sleep next to it. But if the Oracle asks me to sleep next to her more, then I'll walk over there for a bit and I come back to egg.
there's enough space in the bronze casket for both eggs, says Kyra. But what's the call?
No, because this is I want my dragon to be influenced by somebody else. Okay, this is my egg. The people told me to take care of it myself. I was told that.
I
Okay.
kick Derek out of my room with a slam of my door behind.
Nice,
And then
got
I
an egg
finished
here.
my night singing a very sad, melodic siren song about health and the fallen star who was in prison. And I just spent the night singing my siren, my dragon, and Wizzy's head is just laying on my lap, and his little chimera lion one.
The other giant
Don't
lizard.
go to sleep yet.
The other giant lizard is being kept in the pens for now until they make sure they can freely walk around.
Don't go to sleep yet, Xandri. Don't go to sleep.
I'm singing, bro.
Porunga, I'll say yes, this is happening during the travel.
I need to go talk to Xandri, so I'm gonna I guess figure out how to get past Derek and his massive egg in the hallway.
Touch it. Back off.
I thought you.
Back off, buddy.
I thought you were gonna say.
yeah.
I thought you were gonna say I need to figure out how to get past Derek and his massive ego in the hallway. Like,
I mean, it's too big anyway. So,
Aim
it's too big anyway. So sorry, buddy.
Ego bigger than the egg.
I go my Lego. Stop.
You just get suffocated as you walk past him.
But anyway, and then I go in. I hear Xandri is singing whatever sad song she's singing, so I just kind of lightly knock on the door.
Wizzy Liz goes and, like, scratches on it.
I guess I don't want to open the door yet because she didn't say I could come in, so I knock a little louder.
You hear more scratches behind the doors when he tries to open it.
I just kind of turn the knob and crack the door.
You see a chimera.
Okay.
A baby chimera.
Oh my god.
Oh, the
but
one
no,
I forgot.
yeah, I'm like, oh shit, you know. I'm like, hey, Wizzy, is Andrew here?
He'll nudge the door open, and I'm like almost in a trance singing this song with like my forehead swaying.
She drank too much wine again.
I see all this happening, and I just look at Wizzy and I say, I point at myself, and I'm like, I need to talk to her when she's done doing whatever she's doing, and then I hope he understands me, and I walk away.
Amy just passed her lizard. Nothing.
My lizard's upstairs in the cage still.
As Bo leaves, I annoyingly stop my song and look over to the door. Say, "What is it, Bo?"
I walk backwards and kind of stick my head back through the door. I'm like, hey, I just wanted to thank you for helping me today with my lizard, and hopefully, maybe on some of these travel days we can work on training it with Wizzy if you have time.
I blink at him. Like that could have wait the morning.
Well, I couldn't go to sleep without telling you thank you. That's just rude.
You're welcome. We will work with them in the morning.
And I just kind of like give her the thumbs up kind of gesture and walk away awkwardly.
Wizzy will slam the door shut behind him because he only knows how to slam it.
All right.
Or forgets to close it. My bad.
Fucking-
Forgets to close it too. Don't forget about that word.
Fucking tail whip
Oh.
the door.
I quickly run over to the door, Bo, and then I throw the shackles out of the door to Bo. I've already enchanted them. Could you please go pet them on Porunga before night's over?
Sure, I can do that.
I'm down there.
And then I go upstairs to the captain's quarter, and I knock on the door, and hopefully Porunga
Wait, is
answers.
the door shut?
Yeah, right. Is the door shut, DM?
Did he close the door?
Porunga said he went to his room, but he didn't say that he shut the door.
It was shut.
Rise. You didn't say it. You didn't say it.
Roll a D2. A 2, it was open.
All right.
Yeah. Roll a D2,
Tell him roll.
DM, and see if the
All right,
door
it was open. It was open. I left it unlocked.
Aware. Wow. How does the lizard remember how to close? How does Wizard remember how to close the door? Wow.
I left it unlocked. You just walk at it.
Yeah, I go in. I'm like, hey, bro. I hold the shackles. I'm like, you want to do this the easy way, or you don't want to do it the fun way?
Hey yo, huh?
The fun way. What the fuck?
Huh? Maybe that's right. They don't want Amazonians. I guess.
I'll put it on myself.
I'm guessing they don't like the Amazonians.
What did he say?
Like
I think Porunga's cutting out, but I think I heard he'll put him on himself or something like that.
I throw him to him and watch him as he puts them on.
What's it
That's
called?
sus.
And then as I start to walk away, and I say, "Damn, I would have really liked to fight you for it, but it's all good."
Fight me.
Huh?
What's it called? Estor in Porunga's mind will say, you know, this sucks.
He's like, I can never pilot your body. This is not fun.
You will one day, I think.
One day you're going to
forgot
have to give me a little bit of leeway, says Estor.
One day.
So, with this all would have most of this interaction would happen as you guys were on your journey to the Island of Themis. Speaking of which, I need somebody to roll me a
Not
D1.
it. Not it.
The
Not it.
D100. see
Not
what
immortal.
happens.
Not
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 immortal
immortal.
I
either.
got
No.
it. I got it.
Not
I got it.
Not immortal either.
Don't
Hell
touch
no,
your
not
dice.
letting-
Don't touch your dice, Drac.
Don't you dare, goddammit.
Don't tempt me.
Don't you dare
I'm
touch
making
it,
a 100.
goddammit. He's already dying.
49.
Oh, that's not terrible.
Dead sitter.
50-50. Point flip. Damn it. He's a cracker.
Oh boy. Actually,
Oh
hold on.
no.
Let me double check something about this one, because I think you guys are, what's it called? Okay. Here's what happens.
I'm crying already.
You get raided by pirates.
Not quite. What's it called? Here's what happens. You guys, traveling through the night. Well, at this point it will be like the second day of travel. As you guys are going through the through the ocean. Nothing of great note actually happens on the way there. What's it called? You guys, move with relative ease through the Gulf. This fucking journey goes without incident. So that's only 2
Too
days
suspicious.
to the doomsday counter. Whoever's keeping track of it.
I am. I'm adding it now. We're at 62 days for everyone's information.
The money.
You mean 62
No.
days left, or?
Yeah, 62
Okay.
days left.
Okay, I was gonna say, cause otherwise, that would be pretty alarming. What's it called? You guys begin. You guys travel all the way across the, through these 2 days of travel.
Okay.
No incident of note. You see like dolphins in the distance. You see like whales in the distance, maybe, but otherwise nothing really of note. And the second day of travel, or rather at the start of the third day, rather, of travel, you would arrive at the nearby vicinity of the island of Themis, or what you believe to be the island of Themis. You would notice that the island itself is this very large, sort of like mostly flat terrain landscape that, for all intents and purposes, is not particularly too noteworthy. Until as you approach with with your ship, what's it called? Trying to maneuver the shallower waters in the distance, in the nearby vicinity, rather. You begin to notice that there's a certain level of movement that you didn't quite expect seeing even from far away. Through the telescope or whatever other implement of long-range viewing you may be seeing. Looks like the map is dark for whatever reason. Give me a moment. There we go.
Bo squints his eyes really hard.
There we
They
go.
cast darkness.
There we go. The island of Themis. What's it called? You notice movement in the distance. You see this large animals? Question mark. They don't really seem like most animals you've seen. What's it called? They're not scaly or feathery like the like the other creatures back at the at the island of fire. But you see what appears to be this sort of like really large quadrupedal creatures with this ivory horns coming out of their of the front of their heads. What's it called? Most of you are probably not entirely familiar with what these things are. I know they're not. There we go. What's it called? You guys would see some of the sailors in the ship. As this is pointed out, if whoever has been looking through the telescope, if anybody points this out, some of the sailors in the ship are like, well, you don't see that every day. Another sailor speaks up and says, "Oh, I think I've heard rumors. I think the Amazonian warriors use these creatures as like riding mounts. Cyber expensive in this world. I mean, I'm not going to answer that question, poacher. What's it
That guy, not cool, bro. Not cool, man. Even Derek wouldn't do that. Come on. Don't be worse. Come on. Don't be worse.
Put a moment aside to indicate that poaching is a root cause of a root cause of the death of various endangered species in the world. But anyway, what's it called?
Not cool, that guy.
So we would see these creatures like running around in this wide fields across the island. As soon as the island, and most of it comes into view, you would see as Moxia kind of walks up to the upper deck and says, "Well, I would say it feels good to be back home, but not really." Let's make sure we do what we need to do here and then get out of here as soon as we can. Have any of you been to the island of Themis before?
No.
I walk up and say no.
No,
Mm-mm.
nah. I don't think Versailles would even let me get close to this island.
I would imagine. It is not often a island that is very open about who they allow in. Well, I suppose the best advice I can give here is that we should be very, very careful. My sisters are not particularly known for their mercy. And speaking of which, turns around, looks at 99% of the party, and says, "We're going to need to do something about you, men."
Oof.
Don't
I
worry.
look at her and I'm like,
I got
long
what does that mean?
I got long hair already, buddy. Sorry, I got long hair already. I can do what I can do. All right.
Drop the beard.
No. Look, a woman can have a beard. How dare you? How dare you?
I suppose they can
Eons.
if you're dwarf. Uh,
Shave good. I
um,
mean, take this.
I suppose the best way I can word this in the nicest way possible is that it's going to be extremely difficult for us to get anywhere in the island if, well, one, we don't get the idea across that the wild men we have with us aren't under some form of a restriction.
This is when everyone in the
Wild.
party takes control of a female NPC on the ship and goes onto the island.
Like, I look at her and I say, "Wild?" Question mark. Like, what?
Calm down. Bouxfhades can go in there and be like, "Yeah, I'm here to dominate women."
Oh my god.
Do it. Do it. You have the strength as what? Were you was strength 25? Yeah, do it. Come on. Come on. You have the strength.
She.
I
says-
just, yeah, I'm waiting on her answer.
I overheard the people of the ship talk about how you agreed to rescue someone from this place.
Yes, I
Oh.
think we have to rescue a Cyclops, the father of
Grunt.
Brog, and also the weapon. And also,
If it is here.
you wanted us to do something for you while we were here, Rox, correct?
She looks at you and says, "Yes, and now it's about time that I bring it up, I suppose. The task is simple. I want you all to kill my sisters."
Yes. Derek can finally do it. No repercussion.
I look at her and I say, I'm not sure if you've really noticed, but this one here isn't really too keen. I point at Xandri, isn't too keen at killing.
Yes, I know that the whole moral high ground, don't kill, killing is bad. I'm asking you to drop that for at least today.
That's what I've been saying.
Can I ask your reasoning?
Well, do you want the long version or the short version?
Always the long version.
The law.
Oh my god.
Years ago, my sisters and I used to be loyal servants to the previous queen of the Amazons. But they didn't like the way that she handled things. You see, the Amazons have always had a disdain for most people in the outside world. They believe that, whoever doesn't prove their strength is weak and therefore should be subjugated. My sisters were of a similar mindset to that, though the previous queen was not. She wanted to push for a change in the reform, and my sisters couldn't have that. We organized a coup, all of us, and eventually it came into fruition. I saw how my sisters took the life of the previous queen, and then one of them took the throne for herself. I didn't really have I suppose you could say that at some point I disagreed with them. And as such, I was forced to run away. That was quite a number of years ago.
So, if we kill your sisters, are you planning on becoming queen?
She shrugs and says,
Eh?
I could be, but that's not really important right now.
So let me get straight. Your sister. Is there another way to become queen, or does it have to be death?
You don't understand. My
That's why I'm
sisters,
asking.
and my sisters, just like myself, are not good people. They've cheated, killed, pillaged their way through life, not caring about others. And most recently, they swore their allegiance to a particularly nasty person. And I feel like their influence is only going to corrupt the Amazonian people even more. I already said how they are loyal to Lutheria. I trust you understand what this means.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Do you just want us to kill your sisters, or do we have to kill all of them? Will the others put up a fight if we try to kill your sisters?
There's no doubt that they have some loyal individuals amongst them. After all, how could they have remained in power for so long if they didn't have people who were loyal to them?
But are they loyal due to their personality or their strength? Because if it's only their strength, if someone stronger defeats them, their loyalty should sway, correct?
Perhaps. But, well, I guess you could say it's been quite some time since I've last talked to them, and family reunions are really your thing. I don't know if they rule by strength or by respect. My best guess is that they do so by fear. And I'm sorry to say this, but I don't think they'll stop, even if we let them live.
Here, guys, it's time. It's got this full Dragonlord.
I look at Cass and try to figure out what she's thinking in her head.
It's all insight checker right now.
Or in Sandry.
Yeah, can I insight check Mox?
I'm gonna insight check her after you.
What are you trying to discern?
If her story was heartfelt enough, like if she really meant that, like, her sisters are following Lutheria and are kind of like Lutheria's pawns versus they actually killed the previous for an actual legit reason.
Sure, you can insight check her.
Guys,
Bouxfhades, Sandry.
I'm
insight-
switching over to my main page. My laptop's just really hot.
14. So 18 and 14.
14.
You guys, both of you, I'll say, believe that you think she's being legitimate with the story about her sisters, killing, planning a coup, killing the previous queen. You believe she's holding out on you on some information.
Box. You want us to break our code? I need you to complete.
You cut off there for a moment. You said you want her to be completely what?
I said, Moxia, if you're asking us to break our code by sparing lives instead, it's just two, right?
The way, well, she hasn't specified the number, but the way she's been talking, you believe is a plural number, so at the very least two.
if you're asking us to take a life instead of save a life, please be transparent with. I feel like there's something you haven't. I will not judge you. Need to know all the facts. If you're asking me to take a life, I need all of the information, good and bad.
I suppose this day would come. God,
We're on board, don't worry.
God, I hate being honest.
I
Right.
love when you're honest.
Don't patronize me, she says.
Damn. Tone, you ain't. Oh, not me.
Right. So the full story then. Alright. 13 years ago, I planned a coup with my sisters. We all took part in it. As you can imagine, Medusae aren't particularly well liked across Tylea. So, no matter how much we would have tried illegitimately, we would never been acknowledged, any of us, as the new leader of the Amazons. My sisters took this a bit more personally than I did. And so one day, we managed to find the previous queen, corner her, and in a very cowardly way, we attacked her. Rather, my sisters attacked her. I had a different job during that night. I was to make sure that the queen's daughter would not interfere.
Damn.
I failed to a certain degree. The little rascal got past me. She had to see her mother get cut down like a dog. But then something happened that surprised me. Turns out, one of my sisters, Cecilia, managed to make a promise, an oath, to the previous queen before she died, that her daughter wouldn't come to harm. And last I remember, she was still in the island when I left.
So, if I'm picking up what you're throwing down, you want us to overthrow your sisters so that the queen's daughter can retake her rightful place.
Or
If she's even capable of. You're not sure. You aren't too familiar with how these things work, are you?
No, I'm very ignorant to a lot of things in this world. I used to be a hermit, so I didn't really interact with the world much.
She looks at you and says, well, there's a lot of things you have to learn, but we'll keep those for a different day. You see, even if you were to free the queen's daughter, the Amazons aren't just going to accept somebody else ruling Roost unless they prove themselves. And before you ask, no, they will never acknowledge a man as their leader.
No, but what if?
How does
what
a
if?
woman prove herself?
Well, what if? I have an idea. What if the queen's daughter bested an extremely strong man in combat?
You mean a man that has no bearing in the society of the Amazons? I don't think that
No.
would work.
feels bad, man. You're out of
Yeah, but if she was to protect her fellow Amazonians from someone with the strength of a giant, but with her own hands, would that not prove her strength?
That's assuming she's even still capable of holding a sword.
Hmm.
God,
Roxia.
please think I'm a bad guy for a bit.
She turned to you, Xander.
I knew it. Okay.
Your sisters. You said one of them's name was Cecilia.
Yes.
I have a question. can you guys be turned to stone? So I know you guys can turn others to stone, but can you guys also in return turn to stone, or are you immune?
Yes, we can turn ourselves or each other to stone. We're not immune to our own petrifying gaze, if that's what what you're implying. I have managed to train myself good enough to avoid looking at my own reflection. My sisters, they're
You know-
probably not too far behind me in that regard.
So
And I still
question,
have skincare.
are you against going with the island, onto the island?
Please, I was already planning to come along to make sure you finish the job.
What if we turn your sister to stone instead?
Could be possible, but that's not
What if
in any way a better fate than death.
true? But it's just an imprisonment for the time. Can turn them to stone, stash them away somewhere where nobody will ever see them until the war is over. And then we may come back and collect them.
She looks at you and says, "Not a very roundabout process."
True. But
I-
at this time,
Go ahead.
I understand that killing them might be route out. But don't you miss them at all?
To be honest, there's a part of me that may still have some attachment to them. That's why I can't do this on my own. That's why I ask you all to do this for me.
So when you guys are in your statuesque like state, do you die? Can you perish while in that form?
What type of question is that? It happens the same as everybody who gets petrified. If their head
well,
is
I
removed,
don't-
they
I
won't
don't
be
re-
able to be brought back.
So even if they're petrified for a decent time, after a while you could, if the right, concoctions are created and they're unpetrified, they'll still be alive.
In theory, yes. That is how
So
many
then-
of the people that I've delivered to Hexia tend to be.
Out of game. This is not where Hexia is located, correct?
No, you don't.
Nope.
You're pretty sure she's
Okay,
not here.
okay. Okay. I was like, wait a minute. Can we just bite off more than we... Okay. So, Mox, you just want them dead. You don't maybe want them to be turned to stone for a while, to accept their punishment for what they have done, and then in the foreseeable future be given a second chance. Just want them dead. You don't want your family to be with you.
She looks at you and says, "I know you grew up with a family that cares for you and treats you well. I didn't. Well, yes, we had to look out for each other for a long period of our time. I don't believe they can be redeemed. I think that if we give them the chance, they will try many bad things. Look, I'm not
Right.
trying to make this a philosophical discussion. I just want to know if you're going to kill them or not. Just as long as they're taken out of the picture is fine enough."
So sad.
I look at Xandri and I say, I know that we're not supposed to kill people, but if push comes to shove, you can turn a blind eye to this one.
I look at Bo dead in the eyes and say, I can't kill. I will lose my...
That's why I said you can turn a blind eye, and I will do it.
Just out of,
Happens to me all the time. Don't worry.
just out of curiosity, there, Xandri. Since you hold this dogma, I guess, what will you do once you run into Sidon and Lutheria? Will you also not kill them after everything they've done?
No,
Ooh.
I've already decided that they deserve to die. But until that day comes, I'd rather hold on to my and my divinity. And then I hold up my hand that's still a little bit black. Still black. I don't want to become this.
She kind of looks at you and says, well, whatever. I just hope that when the time comes to make a call, you don't regret it.
Why I asked her to,
Oh, what'd you say? You cut out there.
which is why I asked if we could turn the stone.
Honestly, like I said, at this point, I don't precisely care what happens to them so long as they're no longer a problem for anybody. If you think that's a more merciful fate than death, then by all means.
I just don't want you to also regret losing your only if there's a road that could possibly lead to redemption.
If there was
Or who
one,
knows?
if there was a road that leads to redemption, they went way off the trail.
Who knows? Maybe you could turn them to stone and put them in your front yard as lawn ornaments.
That is even more disturbing than just putting them down, I think. But,
Even Derek
well,
would do that.
whatever the case is, I know where they might be keeping the man you're looking for. But it
In this
won't be
situation.
easy to get there. In fact, if we were to just approach to that location with the ship as is, chances are we'll be seen immediately.
Well,
Go ahead.
I could go onto the island. I could be a part of the group that obtained the Amazon princess who's being captured, and I can help rescue Burke. But as for the fight, unfortunately, against my better judgment, I don't know if I'll be able to participate, but I can bless you guys before you.
Oh, she's
Or I'll-
sitting back. Wow.
She looks at you and says, well, if you're all ready, she kind of points forward at the island and says, our destination is a, well, smaller island adjacent, annexed to the main one. At first, it was just supposed to be a temple of sorts, but over the reign of my sisters, they decided to turn it into a prison, at least as far as I'm aware. She kind of points forward, like way off into the distance, like presumably even across the entire island, and says it should be on the other side from here. But like I said, if we were to approach it with this ship as is, they'll definitely know something's up and the alarm will be raised. Meaning, we have to find somewhere to dock and walk the rest of the way there until we are within distance.
The princess's name, may I have it?
She looks at you and says, well, princess is quite the title. Not exactly the one we use to refer to them, but if you must know, I believe the child's name, as far as I'm aware, was Darian.
Thank
Did I hear that name before? I'm not stupid. No.
And then I ask Moxia, so, I may just be clueless here, but how will we know that who your sisters are?
Oh, trust me. You'll know.
Fair enough.
Now, is everything clear? Or do you all need some more time to prepare?
Out of game, how long is it going to take for my helmet to be done? Like, is that going to be like a week, 2 week kind of thing?
Because you were like, you just put like a simple enchantment on it. It actually should be done by now. What's it called? Because it's just a fucking flavor. This is more like a flavor magic item. What's it called? Here we go.
Please tell me when he puts it on, he turns to a female. Would be the best enchantment right now.
Hey, he meant to make it intimidation, but he accidentally made it seduction.
Polar reverse Naruto.
You eventually, Steros will call upon you, Bouxfhades, like sometime in the morning, and he'll be like, your helmet's done. You walk down and see as the dragon skull has now been fashioned into like a more humanoid size, like helmet that kind of covers, basically most, I guess if I was to describe it, it looks like a more rough around the edges version of the Dragoon helmet, from FF14. What's it called? Kind of like with a little curvature towards the front, but with, this, where the eye sockets, I guess, of the would be. There's like this light. There's like this light, sort of like hazy, like effect almost to it, and you're like, oh, what is this? Fucking Asteros says, well, it's a very simple enchantment. Dare I say, one of the simplest I've ever had to craft. No offense, but it should make you look, as some people would put it, cool.
I look at him
turn him
and
into a female.
I look at him and kind of squint my eyes, and I'm like, no curses?
Kind of thinks for a moment. I don't think so.
At this point, I'm not even insight checking that. I'm just waiting to see what the fuck it does.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's worth insight checking that, because I'm pretty sure he's fucking lying to me. But I guess I'll insight check him anyway.
Okro's long, luscious hair, and perky lip, and beautiful long eyelashes.
You can tell even him himself might not actually be sure if it's cursed or not.
Oh god.
It is cursed. That's why he made it. Just for you.
Okay, so he is telling the truth that he's not sure it has a curse.
He said, I don't know, fam, try it on.
Yeah,
afterwards.
He probably just cobbled it together with one of the simplest enchantments he had at the moment. So.
All right, I tell him thanks for the help, and if he needs anything, just let me know. Obviously we're gonna try to get his dad back, of course. But I appreciate his speedy craftsmanship.
He might be against the idea of getting taken out of an island full of women, but don't let that stop you. Grab him by the ears if you need to.
All right. Any emotional gut punches we can throw at him to convince him to come back?
I suppose you could try to appeal to his sense of family, and tell him something along the lines of this is not what your wife would have wanted, or something like that.
Yeah, right.
I'm pretty sure his wife definitely doesn't want him on an island with a bunch of Amazonian women.
Well, we could ask her, but she's kind of dead.
Oh well, I that
Mm,
sucks. I'm sorry.
It happened quite a
Awkward.
number of... it happened like 100 years ago, I think. We've moved past it.
Okay, well,
Fries inside.
all right. I'm assuming that you're good down here. You got everything you need.
Well, that's a bit of an overstatement, but if
Well,
you're asking if I
without you,
was... if you're asking if I was planning to get to that island with you guys, Hades, no. I'm going to stay here, where I can try to make a suitable work atmosphere. And going off the assumption that you rescued my father, I'm going to have to get even more space around this side of the ship. You heard that, everybody? I'm gonna need somebody to help me clear this out right away. See, one yells over to to some of the crew members.
Yo,
I just like to say, okay, let's just leave Poland alone. But we'll try to find you some more space.
Yo,
Mm,
he's not Germany.
I hope you do. I hope you do. Now then, try the helmet on.
I hesitantly and slowly put the helmet on my head.
You
I
put
help
it
him
on.
plop it on faster. Serious.
You put it on, and you don't feel any different. In fact, you're not even
You don't
sure
think
what
so?
enchantment this could be that Steros put on it. You turn around to your allies, and you guys will actually see something that Bouxfhades doesn't see.
Oh God.
You guys will see as from the like again from sort of like around where the eye area of the helmet is, the hazy effect has now been replaced by this fucking like Sans Undertale like fucking glowing eye effect that that is visible to
Scary.
everybody.
He's scary now.
So like the Goblin Slayer eyes, kind of.
Yes,
like
basically like the fucking Goblin Slayer eyes.
That's cool as
Intimidation gets
fuck.
+1 intimidation. Dread helmet. You get
Situational.
one. You get
Situational bonus.
Situational.
like
Uh,
time to kill you. You do it against the Amazonians. Time to kill some Amazonians with your eyes.
I turn back to Steros. I'm like, do I look cool?
He kind of switches his monocle like visor and just goes, "Sure, why not?"
I'm like, all right, man. See you later. And I just go on back upstairs and back to the group.
You guys will see it. Buffett just
So-
shows up with like fucking Goblin Slayer glowing eyes in the helmet.
What the fuck? Who pissed him off already? It was
but,
me. I don't know.
With that, as you guys are getting ready to set off to the island of
Over.
Themis, that is sadly where we're gonna end the session for now. Next time, you guys will have to face off against Moxia's sisters. Get ready
That's
for
if we
some.
get there next.
Get ready for some juicy family drama. But for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, please continue watching along with the Adventures of the Dawnbringers. Every like, every view helps boost my ego. And what's it called? And next time,
Like this.
Favorite outro.
and hopefully next time, the party will be able to see what lies in wait for them in the island of Themis, besides women. That'll be it for today, and we'll be signing off.